show. Like we can go for like 3 hours if we.
I go 3 hours. No.
Hey guys, how's it going? It's I, the real Randy Chavez, here with Superstar Money Joe. Queen Vivi is about to join us, and obviously our guest Alfred Kahn is a legend. He's been on the podcast before. He's been on Spaces before. How's everyone doing today?
We're doing good over here. I mean, get to meet the legend. Al, thanks for taking the time to be on the stream with us and all the stuff you're doing with First Responders Children's Foundation. When we heard about it, we're really, really happy to be able to spread the word and try and get as many eyes on that initiative that you guys are doing. So really happy to be invited to this stream and excited for the draw and the raffle and all that stuff.
Great. Well, thank you very much. Do we call you a superstar, or do we call you Money, or do we call you Joe?
You can call me Joe.
I like calling you Money.
Yeah, that works too. I mean, there's none of those are bad.
Here he is. Yeah. First of all, thank you so much. I mean, Laurie and Randy and yourself have spent a lot of time and effort on this, and it's really exciting to see, that we can present a nice check to the foundation relative to your efforts. So, I really appreciate it. I mean, the kids are going to appreciate it because the money that we collect, of course, goes directly to those people that need it. So it's exciting. So thank you for very much for that.
Yeah, we had, I guess Laura will say what I mean, it was a silent auction, but obviously we'll go over what the winning bid was and who won that. I think he's going to come on at some point. And then we have the other one, which was a raffle. Every $10 was an entry, and I think we have like 90 entries, so it's like $900 on that. So, so that was really cool.
That's great.
Nice.
That's great.
Yeah. So we'll go and see. Laurie, can you hear me? Oh, wait a minute. There we go. Laurie, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Where's your camera?
We're getting there. We're going on to another computer.
All right, cool beans. All right, she'll be back. So with this, we have and this is currently, it started in New York, but it was getting a little more into the process. Now it's a national organization. Is there any place where you think it's needed more? Like, oh, we need it in the state of Kansas, or need it in the state of California because of all the fires, or New York because of 9/11.
Actually, I don't know if you know this. We're a national organization. We're in all 50 states.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Jillian, who's the president, was in California I guess 2 weeks ago, and she wanted two of our new sponsors are the Los Angeles Rams and the Los Angeles Dodgers. So that's a great group. So she was out there. She actually we had a toy drive for some disadvantaged children inside the new stadium. California. And Jillian caught a touchdown pass thrown by one of the guys. Yeah, and so that was kind of funny. But we're in every state, and I think what ends up happening, Randy, is that we respond to whatever's happening and whatever the nature of the business of the catastrophe is. Even though we're based in New York, all of our people are all over the United States. We have people all over the place. A lot of people nowadays don't come into offices anymore. Hi, Laurie.
I made it.
They don't come into offices. They work remotely. So we have people all over the place. And like I said, we work in the confines of whoever in any state needs the uses of our programs, whether it be mental health, whether it be emergency medical grants, whatever it happens to be. Those people can apply, and those things are then sent through a process. So it doesn't really matter where you are. It's a question of our problem is, of course, we get many more applications than we could possibly fund. You could possibly imagine. I mean, last year we gave away, I don't even remember the number, $7 million, I think.
Wow.
And, during COVID, we gave away $22 million. But the amount of people, especially you hear about first responders who are being killed, in the line of duty, and they leave young children behind, or you hear about first responders who are become ill relative to whether it be something to do with 9/11 or after 9/11. So the whole litany of things, and mental health is a big deal. Mental health is a big deal. We offer mental health services to first responders and their families because you have a lot of, almost like, it's like almost like a PS. It's almost like they're shocked. They're shocked. It's almost like being in an army. So
Yeah.
I think the money, we have needs all over the United States. So we're not limited to whether it's New York or whether it's California or whether it's Montana or whether it's wherever it happens to be.
Thank you. So we will do, I guess we'll kick it off with just do you want to kick it off with the raffle first? We'll do a bunch of other giveaways and then we'll go to the Charizard.
I think the giveaway is going to take a little bit longer, Randy.
Okay.
So let me just give a quick overview here. So thanks, everybody. Sorry about the technical delays. Randy, thank you for hosting. Just to kind of let you guys know where we landed. We ended up getting a $1,500 winning bid. And if Henry's going to be coming on soon, he is the one who is going to, or did already submit a donation yesterday out for $1,500. So we did have end up getting $1,500 from Henry, and he couldn't be more pleased. I'm excited to get to talk to him. In addition to that, we also received a total of $960. 88 entries came in, but several people donated. Well, a few people donated and said, it's okay, let other people win. So we have, we ended up 960. So a little bit short of $2,500, which isn't bad for a $500 investment. I think we did pretty good. We 6x, our money overall. So we are pleased out. Hopefully Jillian can report a little tick in some donations over the past couple of days. But we also had a great support from the Vivi community. So, Randy helped me pick out the cards. We also had, of course, Superstar Money had me on the stream. Johnny Dunn had me on his stream. Comics and Crypto helped promote this. I believe, Sean, Al from the team. Who else am I forgetting? We had Brock McBlockchain, My Collectibles. They dedicated additional raffle prizes. So, not only did we have these 2 cards, but we had all kinds of people within the Vivi fam help promote this. And I just kind of want to give a shout out and get them on here. I think, who do we just have join, Randy? Is that MC?
Yeah, it's My Collectibles. Yeah.
My Collectibles donated. So really, this was a team effort with the Vivi, with the heavy hitters and the heavy content creators. So, thank you guys for helping me out and the charity out and giving me a platform to speak and your great donations. So, with that, Randy, where do we want to start? I mean, if we don't have Henry up here, we could surely start on the giveaway for the Gyarados.
Yeah, sure. If you want to do the raffle for that. So that was a Aquapolis Gyarados. That is a secret hollow. That is, I think there's less than like 40 between PSA 8, PSA 9, PSA 10. This should get minimum PSA 8, if not more. That one, it's in your possession, right, Lori?
That is correct. It is in my possession. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll be able to go and get I got my Gyarados shirt on for this, and
oh, look at you!
and we'll go and how do you want to do the raffle? Is it just a?
So here we go. Let me see. Wait, let me go over here. I don't know if you guys can see it. Yep. So what we did is we have a randomizer here basically, and we have 1 through 88. So what we did was everyone who donated received a number. Mm-hmm. It was just in the order of donations. Randy, are you number 1?
It might be. It's from the LAB. Oh, I don't say the email, but
okay, never mind. Yeah. Randy, you might be number 1. So everybody just got assigned a number. The order that they came in, we put in 1 through 88, and let's just spin the wheel and we'll see our winning number here live. So we're doing a randomizer. We're just gonna spin it, make sure that we're all in the up. Everybody. Whoa, here we go. All right, what is it? Here we go. Number
27. Do we know who's 27?
We can find out who 27 is.
The legend 27.
The number 27. Oh, wait, it's on my phone. So if anybody who's watching is number 27, congratulations. Really excited for you guys to, we will reach out to you and absolutely get your address, how you want it signed, etc. I'll be sending those to Al here over the next couple of days. And I was going to sign it. Hopefully you can get someone to take a quick pic while you're signing it.
You can do that.
And yeah, so number 27, unfortunately, because we had to switch computers, I had 2 computers, but it's on here, Randy.
Okay.
But yeah, we will definitely get a hold of number 27 if they don't pop up.
I did want to announce another thing that we'll have starting. The bidding will start after this. I just wanted to announce it here. Al, I don't know how many Funko Pops you have sold, but you did, or that you have signed, but you did sign one Pikachu one at New York Comic Con.
You did.
And it also has David and Dan's signature on it from Vivi as well. So this person also wanted to do an auction for charity. It will be split between your charity and then also Best Friends Animal Society for animals. So that'll be really fun.
That's great.
Yeah.
Great.
So we'll do that.
I don't think like I said, I've never signed anything. So I only think I signed a couple of things at Comic-Con, which I wasn't even supposed to do. And they were not happy about it. Marvel was not happy.
We know what you signed
Yeah,
out.
I bet.
You signed.
I didn't do it. And
You did.
So so obviously, I don't think there's a lot out there. I don't think maybe it's in the single digits probably about what we actually signed.
Yeah.
It is. I did some digging through the community, and from what we can tell, we have 7 that you signed at Comic-Con.
Okay.
The total of 7. So this is going to be 8 and 9.
Okay. Great.
So
Yeah. Never too late to donate, Only Child. You can always donate. I think the link should be down below in the description.
Absolutely. So that's what we have for the main 2 cards. In addition to that, as I told you guys, we have a lot more to give away. Superstar money. Let me kick it to you. You want to kind of tell us what you're tossing in and what the next one's for?
Yeah, I don't know if you want to do it as 1 or 2 giveaways, but we're giving away some of the merch. We got a hat and we got a t-shirt. I don't got here. Rob has them, but this is mine from Decon. So you're gonna get one of these, but without all the signatures on it. So a lot more signatures than Al's ever signed. But yeah, I mean a t-shirt and a hat.
All right, so 31. Did you want to split that up into 1 or split it up into 2 or have it as a bundle?
Yeah, to me it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Well, it's your giveaway.
Okay, do 2 of them. Do 2 of them. Let's make more
All right.
guys here.
So the first one
one's
gets a hat.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right.
And then the second one's gonna get the shirt.
Oh, I'm terrible at this.
Well, who signed that? Who signed
Oh, it's
it?
all the Vivi fam. So when we went to Decon, everybody there signed it, right?
Fantastic.
So,
Wow.
Randy's here somewhere.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
And we got number 9 for the shirt.
Yeah,
Number
and it'll be
9
a
for the
clean
shirt.
shirt, no signatures on it. If you guys want like Randy or whoever, we can try and figure it out. But
we'll try to we'll ship it back to each other.
Yeah.
How much would that shirt go for?
With
The one
that- this one?
Yeah.
I don't know. It smells like me, right? So it probably
Well,
takes it down in
nobody
value.
wants that, Rob.
Yeah. Actually, no. When we were getting that signed, it was going through the shirt and like onto our body. So like 3 days of ink on our bodies in the shower.
They signed you. They signed you guys.
They signed our bodies. I should have got tattoos of it after.
Should have.
That's awesome.
Well, thank you so much, Rob, for having me on your stream, for promoting this for I'm sorry, Joe. I'm sorry, you and Rob, Superstar Money. How about we go with that? Thank you so much, you guys, for both of you. I know he can't be there, and my thoughts are with him as well for what he's going through. But thank you. I appreciate it. Lots of love. So we also have my collectibles.
How's it going?
It's going great. What's going on?
Oh man,
I'm sorry.
Go right ahead.
I just want to tell you one other little funny thing. That, I have a new show coming on the air in February, and it's a show that I found in China, and it was the #1 show in China, and we took it. It's taken us 3 years to localize it because it was really not localizable. We actually reshot it completely for the show, but the star of the show is a character named Hampton, and the voice of Hampton is the original voice of Ash from Pokemon.
Yeah.
Oh, I love him.
So she is this girl, and we hired her.
Oh, I was thinking of Jordan Page, the singer. I'm sorry. I'm thinking.
So we hired her to do it, and that I think this is going to be really big. And so when that comes out, we start getting products on that because I think it's called Kung Fu Pork Choppers, and it's about secret agent pigs that know Kung Fu and they know all kinds of stuff. But the show is gotten I think 10 billion views in China. And so we're thinking it's going to be pretty cool. And also we're doing another show that's based on first responders, but they're first responder. I can't tell you too much about it. It's a cartoon, but it's got great characters. And that's another area where we could, maybe give some stuff away and, have some signings in terms of that. So those are two things that I wanted you to keep on your radar.
Will do. Veronica Taylor always does an amazing job. Everyone loves her. People have her sign cards all the time as well. So we'll be excited for that.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Would we be seeing those on Vivi maybe too, Al, someday?
Pardon me?
I said, will we be seeing those on Vivi as well, perhaps in the future?
Look, I'm not, anything's possible. We did. If you saw anybody saw the movie Minions? You saw the movie? The Pet Rock was in there, right? My company owns the Pet Rock. So we, that's another little collectible that we're working on, that we've actually, talked to David about it. Whether he'll do it or not, I don't know. But there is a lot of things in the collectible space that, that are kind of fun. They're kind of interesting. But we did that deal with the movie studio, and it was pretty cool. It was on for about a minute. It wasn't that big a part, but it was kind of fun.
Okay.
It sounds awesome.
My Collectibles, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say to Al Kahn, great to meet you. I've never spoken to you before, but you're a legend, obviously, and it's so nice to be here with you, right?
Well, thank you very much. Should I call you My or Collectibles?
You just call me MC, or you can call me Aaron. It's all good.
What's your name? I'm sorry.
My name is Aaron in real
Aaron,
life.
okay, great. I'd rather do that, Aaron. I'd rather call you.
Yeah, you can call me Aaron. Yeah, so it's good with two A's, right?
I love all the handles that you see. Queen Vivi. Where the heck did that come from? I mean, but obviously, well deserved. I'm telling you, she's an incredible woman.
Well, for sure. Thank you. You know where that came from, Al? Because when I would get in the Twitter spaces, I would get a little rough sometimes, like the Evil Queen. They told me they remind them of the little, the Disney Evil Queen from Snow White. So I just kind of adopted that as my emoji. That's something Vivi dropped out, and it just kind of stuck. So, sometimes you got to get rough a little bit in Twitter spaces, right, guys? You can't be Snow White in Twitter.
The Wild West in there.
It is a Wild West in Twitter. Absolutely.
So is this the moment where I can show what I want to give away to?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you're up. Let's go.
Nice. Okay, cool. Because I've been waiting for this. So I was down at DCon, and of course I got the Frank Kozik, I got his NFT and the shirt. I bought one there and everything like that. And I got the shirt, and I wanted to give the shirt out, but I got it signed by the Vivi team while I was there. So it's really cool. It's this one here, of course. So I thought people would like this.
Wow.
You can see it's all signed. So this is the one of 150 that went out. And you can see we got like Alex G's up here, and Dan and David in gold, and Corey's on there. I didn't get Frank to sign. I couldn't track him down. So that's all right. But I got this one for everybody. So that's one that I'd like to give out. And then, of course, because I'm such a comic guy over here, I had this Detective Comics right here, number 1000. And it's a special cover. And the reason I wanted to pick it is because all the different Batmans and everybody on it. And this is Detective Comics. So I wanted to give this one out to somebody too, who donated, and just help share the love with you guys.
Can I tell you a story?
Yeah. Please.
I'm not sure this is okay. When I first started out in this business, 1,000 years ago, I wanted to understand what the derivation of all these characters came from. In other words, was there something before Marvel's Spider-Man? Was there something before Superman? Was there something before? And I went back, and I don't know if you guys know anything about this, but I'm going to I'm going to give you something interesting. Prior to the time when there were copyrights and trademark laws, there was a group of pulp novels. Have you ever heard the term pulp novels? And they came out before comic books, okay? And they were written by the company that did them was a company called Street and Smith, and they are owned by Condé Nast. And I went through their library at their headquarters, and I found the most crazy stuff. One of the things, for instance, I found The Bat, which was a pulp novel about a guy who got bitten by a bat and turned into a bat. And that was a pulp novel. And then there was another one called, if you would imagine, The Spider. Same story. Some guy a gal or a guy got bitten by a spider and was, then turned into a spider. But I think one of the most interesting ones was something called Doc Savage. You ever heard of Doc Savage?
Yeah.
Doc Savage is the man of steel, man of bronze. So whoever wrote Superman took Doc Savage, the man of bronze, and turned it into the man of steel. But also, where did Doc Savage live? He lived in the fortress. He lived in the Fortress of Solitude.
Oh, wow.
So that was taken off that as well. So what I have uncovered though is a huge collection of these original pulp novels.
Yeah.
And we are now in process of determining what to do with them. But there's a whole slew of them that are just all based on, they're all pulp novels where all these original characters were amalgamated. It's kind of funny, hey Omar, how you doing? It's kind of funny that this is where this evolved, because I don't think anything is new. I think everything is somewhat evolutionary, So I was excited to see this stuff. And of course, the Shadow, Green Hornet, and all these characters that came into the first group of comic books prior to Marvel, right?
Yep. Just beautiful artwork too. They're just like the amazing stories, the cover where you see amazing fantasy. But then I used to have a good collection in my toy shop at the time, a whole of these novels, right? These like from the 30s, the mid 30s, and amazing stories. And it was the art on the cover, and you open it up and there's not a lot of imagery in them. It's just stories, right? But the writing, if you actually read them too, it's totally different than today. They actually have to read, right? Like, it's like, so yeah, I love that era. My actually, when I was a kid, I was born in the mid 70s, right? So my mom actually had some pulp, like there was one like hardback sort of book, like kind of magazine that my mom had, and it was called Pulp, just Pulp. And it was really old, and I remember reading it, and I remember there was like ghost stories in there and stuff, and I was very little. I've tried to find it. Like I've tried to track it down because I have a very vague recollection of what the cover looked like. And I've tried to search for it, and I haven't been able to locate it yet. But one day when I do see it, I'll go, yes, like that's it. Because I want to read it again, because there's like this one graveyard story in there with like a skeleton and like all these older stories. And you're right. You're so right, Al. They just like... They spawned on that whole generation of writers. I mean, like that's where we got them all from. I mean, so true. Yeah.
So it's just so interesting because, I think there's very few things that are actually totally original. You follow? Mm-hmm. I think one of them is Pokemon. I really do, because that was something that never really showed up anyplace else in that regard, that type of situation. But all these superheroes at some level. And I remember, when I was at Coleco, running Coleco, Marvel was owned by a family. It was owned by a family. It was not owned by Disney, and they had not done any movies. They had not done any anything in regard to anything. And I tried to buy them at that time for Coleco, and the idea was to do collectibles. But we're talking now 40 years ago.
Yeah,
we're talking about. I wanted to do, and I told him I wanted to start off with the mutants, X-Men. Yeah. And they said, what do you want to do? I said, I want to make beryllium figures. You know what a beryllium figure is, right? Made out of aluminum, so it has a very short run. You can't make many. And he would do I want to do beryllium X-Men figures and bring them out every month. You follow? And of course, we were way ahead of our curve there. And they looked at us like we were out of our complete nerdy minds. But that would have been cool.
It's like really future talk. That's like future talk. Like,
so we didn't get that deal, and of course, that company was sold to to Ike Perlmutter, and then of course he's flipped it to Disney.
Yeah. Wow. Crazy. Hey. And you said you tried to buy it. You wanted to buy Marvel.
Wanted to buy Marvel because I believed very strongly that I didn't know about the collectibles. Look, when I was a kid, the collectible was a baseball card, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and my uncle was the senior vice president of Topps at that time, and he'd send me all the new baseball cards in a sheet, right? Like they weren't cut. They were uncut.
Yeah.
And I put them in the basement, and my mother threw them away. I'm sure. I don't
Oh.
but the bottom line story was that was obviously kids. That's what kids did. So really, Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh and other card games, took over for baseball cards. They're still hugely successful, I'm sure.
Yeah.
The Mickey Mantle card, I think the other day, one of the original Mickey Mantle cards went for, some crazy. Hi, Henry, how are you?
Oh, good. How about you?
Good. Went for like a couple of $1 million or more than that, So
yeah,
I didn't have enough time in the wire. I was trying to.
It's okay. It's okay.
The bottom line story in all this is that, the collectible universe is a consistently changing thing, and it actually goes back much further than you think. And it goes back, and there's a lot of things out there that no one has ever really, exposed, which could be kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, there's a guy who used to come into my shop, and he collected, sports cards and toys and comics and all sorts of stuff. But one of his big things that he collected actually was lanterns.
Wow.
Like, the gas, like the lanterns, he had a massive collection of them. And he would show me on his phone, and he would search around the antique shops for them. And there's a whole community behind it. And like, they were like, if you're so right. I mean, it just goes, there's people collect all sorts of stuff.
And I think
some of it's amazing.
I think, David understands that too. David understands that there's a lot more grass to grow, a lot more stuff to be harvested. And it's stuff that may have much older pedigrees than what we're currently doing, which it doesn't mean it just means that there's a lot of stuff that you have to be exposed, that could be great. So, especially in the printed universe area, especially in comic books, especially in pulp novels, there's a whole bunch of things that could be, brought to the fore. And I think people would be interested in taking a whack at, because that's what I love. I love these really old things. Not that I love everything you're doing, because I do, but I love things that have a little bit more, gravitas in terms of age. So there's a whole litany of that stuff. You have to find it.
It's true.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I did spin for the shirt. I just was trying to.
Who got the shirt?
Number 30.
No, because I had to change computers, so all my information's on here. So I'll maybe, if they're okay with it, I'll publish our winners whenever we're all done. But number 11. So
number 11, and then I got to get their address, right, so I can send it out.
Yeah, and I'm going to take care of facilitating.
Okay, yeah.
You guys.
And then I got the Detective Comics 1000. I don't know when you want to do that one, but
I'm gonna
check it out.
Oh, she's doing it right now.
Look at that. Number 1000, you guys, all the different Batmans, the Night of the 1000 Batmans. So
46.
Story from the past.
All right. And before we move on to Henry, I believe you also wanted to donate a drop head.
Yes.
You want to tell us a little bit about your NFT?
Yeah, so it's just people who come to my channel. It's just to teach you how to use, get NFTs on the open sea. And I give comics away to people who own them. So it's like a nice little utility. And I made it myself. So it's my own project. So it'll get you a spot in the comic rewards. And, and actually the one I'll give you gets you a spot. And I do Omi rewards and Vivi Gem rewards too. Legitimately, just in the market.
Randy, he gives away Omi. So you might want to get a drop head so you can acquire 100.
Yeah, Randy, million. 500,000 we've given out since April.
Yeah,
just a little bit every week to my holders, just just for fun, just on draws, like just the same way you're doing, Queen, with the random. We just do a random generator. There's a master list if you have one. And then, yeah, so I'll give one of those away to somebody here, and it'll be a random one, and I just need to send it to your MetaMask.
Yep. And I will collect and coordinate all that. So we have number
44.
44. Oh,
Nice.
44. Good number.
Good fun.
Yeah. So Michael X, thank you so much.
Of course, you guys. I mean, thank you guys for setting this up. And Al, I was watching that whole thing about the, with the first responders. It's absolutely amazing what you guys are doing. And Queen, I mean, like, and Randy for hosting this. I was just sitting back watching that whole thing before you guys were talking all about it. And I can't remember the name of the lady that was with you that was organizing it as well.
Ms. Jillian Crane.
Yeah, I just listened to that whole thing, and it's just incredible. I mean,
she's the president and CEO.
Yeah,
of the foundation.
Yeah, and thanks for. I didn't quite remember. It was like about a week and a half ago or so, right? That we had. Yeah. So the story behind it with 9/11. I mean, it was just amazing. So, just another great things you're doing. Another great thing. You don't need me to tell you that.
Absolutely. And I don't think people knew this about
I don't know about this, but every first responder organization in the world has a coin. Each organization has a coin. So one of these rite of passage things is every time we make a presentation to somebody, they give us a coin, which is a coin that represents that group that they are part of, right? And it's a big, amongst first responders, it's a big deal. They trade these coins, like crazy. And we have a first responder foundation coin, and there's a New York City Police Department coin, and there's all these different coins. So another collectible, opportunity possibly, I don't know, but they're these coins. People collect them like crazy because of the nature of the they're in this whole environment, this whole super environment.
Yeah, that's crazy. I did not know that. I did not know that.
I'll show you. I think I have one. I know I don't collect anything, but I may have one floating around.
Can't wait to see it. Henry, we appreciate the bid. We thank you so much for outbidding everyone else.
So this
absolutely.
Yeah,
it was a pleasure.
They're really pretty ornate. You see this? You see this? Whoops.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
See that on the back? It has what the organization is.
Yeah.
It comes in a little plastic. So this one was wow. This is the Department of Homeland Security. See
wow.
See the back of that?
That reminds me of the coins we used to get in the military.
These cost $50-$60 a piece to make. But they make them, they give them out. I know the president, Joe Biden's got one. There's a whole litany of these things.
That's incredible.
Absolutely. But Henry, thank you for you made it on. So Henry was our winning bid. He Henry, you wrote me a really nice note about why you went after the Charizard and what this meant to you. So you just want to kind of convey that. I don't want to.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Sure. Well, I've been a Pokemon fan obviously since first came to America, and even behind me, I still have some of the stuff that when I was a kid I still collect, and it really changed my life even as a kid. It was something I looked forward to watching after school. So running back from school, to get there, but it was just a lot of fun. It was something I enjoyed. And then learning on as I got older, realizing that, a gentleman by the name of, Alfred Kahn is involved with Vivi, but at the same time involved with our childhood, that really spoke. That really meant a lot to me, So I was like, wow, this guy was my childhood, not just from Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and the other stuff that was working on. So it was amazing.
It's funny. Thank you, Henry. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
But I get, I don't go around telling anybody who I am. That's what I do. So I'm at a party, no one knows. And sometimes
you're on the credits.
Somebody said something, then all of a sudden your people want to know about. Well, they want to get the same kind of information that you're giving me now about how their childhoods were really influenced by the things that we had developed at that time. And that's it makes me really happy. It makes me happy that was the case and that people enjoyed it. And that the thing that's amazing to me, Miss Gecko, Julian. Actually, I was on the phone with Julian tonight.
Yeah.
I was going to give her a link But I didn't want the competition, you see.
You didn't want to share that competition.
Yeah, Julie would have
Wow.
come
You know,
on.
they've been asking for her to come back, by the way.
Yeah.
People want to hear from Billion.
She's an amazing woman. She really is. She's in the same sphere as Queen Vivi, because you don't work like they do for, even though, it's the amount of work and effort they put into these things is just amazing. But the point being that, childhood, I have one story I think is interesting. I got a letter. I used to get a lot of letters. I still, during the time the Pokemon was going, a Cabbage Patch Kid, I got, oh my God, every day I got a letter.
I remember that.
This kid was dying of cancer, and the only thing they wanted was a Cabbage Patch Kid.
Yeah.
We got these letters every day, and I made a decision in the company that if anybody writes that letter, send it to them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna vet that. I don't want to know. Maybe it wasn't true, right? But my favorite story about that was one day my secretary says the first lady was on the phone from the White House, Nancy Reagan, and I went, sure, take a message. Take a message. Yeah, that one I certainly didn't buy into. So at the end of the day, I'm going through the messages. Those days you didn't have an iPhone, you had a pad, and you're going through the messages. And I look at the number; it's like a Washington D.C. number. So I'm thinking, So I dialed it back, and it was Nancy Reagan. And
you told Nancy Reagan to wait.
Yeah, she needed 2 Cabbage Patch Kids.
I'll call you back
because she was going to. There were 2 children that came in from, I believe it was Korea, who had heart surgeries in the United States. They wanted to send them home with Cabbage Patch Kids, and they couldn't get them. No one could get them. So I said to her, "Look, I'll be glad to send you 2, but I want to meet your husband." And then 2 weeks later, I got an invitation to the White House, and we did a whole thing on Cabbage Patch. We did the Cabbage Patch Kids in space, which unfortunately was a disaster because that whole spaceship crashed. If you remember that.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Challenger.
Yeah, but he was an incredibly nice guy. I mean, I remember, he couldn't have been more pleasant. Couldn't have been more. Of course, he was an actor, so he was, really kind of into it. But the Cabbage Patch thing was really crazy because we just couldn't keep them in supply, and we were getting calls, and people just wanted them, and they just they were willing to do anything they could to get one. And I think about that. And that was actually maybe the first collectible that really got to a mass market. But in that time frame, we sold $3 billion worth of Cabbage Patch Kids in 3 years.
Wow.
In 1983, 1983, that was a long time ago. So it's kind of fun to see, these people, because now those people are your age, Henry, and they have their own children, and they have a very strong, specific, thing about Cabbage Patch Kids, which was, a crazy story, totally crazy story.
Well, can I show you something there, Al? Because I told my wife that, I was going to be on with you. I was still shocked. And I just wanted to show you, this is hers from when she's a kid.
Wow. I remember that. That's okay. I'm gonna one up you. Okay.
Oh,
Her family's
in both cases,
they have clogs.
That's fantastic.
Oh, wow.
And the bag. And look, it's Cabbage Patch Airways.
Oh my God. I remember that.
She's too shy to come on, but
okay, so
hers.
So when I was for Babyland General Hospital, which is where this thing started, made me a Cabbage Patch Kid, which I have, which is a redhead. I was a redhead. It's a redheaded Cabbage Patch Kid. Then Coleco made me a Cabbage Patch Kid, which was dressed in what I wore to work every day, which was a black shirt and black pants, and with my glasses and everything else.
Yeah.
So it was kind of fun and I was down to see Xavier. I hadn't seen him in a long time. We flew down to Cleveland, Georgia, and we met. We're talking about possibly doing something with Cabbage Patch Kids. So we met back in Georgia, and I hadn't seen him in quite a while, and it was incredibly fascinating to sort of reminisce about all the things that had transpired. It was crazy what went on at that period of time. Now, Pokemon was different crazy. Pokemon, there was plenty of cards, right? You could find cards, you could find, different things to do. But I got a letter one day in the office on Pokemon, and it was from a woman. I won't tell you who it is because she's actually, you probably might know who she is. And she had
Nancy Reagan now?
And actually what it was probably the second most powerful woman at Disney. at that time.
Oh.
And she had a kid who was autistic, and the kid never spoke a word, never until he became a Pokemon fan. In the middle,
That's so awesome.
and getting in that group of kids, he started to talk. Can you talk?
Wow.
Can you imagine that? And then I found out later on that Pokemon is part of the actual part of what they do to help autistic children today, or children who are have gotten these obviously horrible emotional problems, and they haven't been able to communicate. And now they use Pokemon as a way of doing it. So that was really amazing to hear that. So it's got something external to just what it was. So I'm really really, I was excited. I was really happy about that.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Wow. If I can just say that means so much to me, because I volunteer with special need kids, special need young adults as well. And just to hear that from you, I mean, that just lost for words,
I'll
It's
tell
amazing.
you. I'll tell you one of my. I know I'm talking a lot, but I'm talking
No,
about,
that's okay.
I'm talking about things that I love.
I got nothing else to do.
This is beautiful.
None of us mind, Al. None of
There
us
was a,
mind.
Yeah.
There was a
Well, there
in
you go.
the foundation. A lot of times we get grant requests from people, first responders, whose children have to have terrible surgeries.
Hmm.
And as you know, unfortunately in today's world, or even not going back, sometimes your insurance doesn't cover these things, especially if so you have to basically be get help to do it. So one guy, we got a call from a Secret Service guy who said his son, who was, I think he was 3 or 4, had never spoken, and that they were worried that he had something in his head that was preventing him from speaking. And they did all the tests, and they found he had a sort of tumor in his head that they thought maybe was the reason why he couldn't speak. So they asked us if we would help, pay for additional efforts that were going on, but also would we give them money for hotels so they could spend time with their children, with the child in New York, because the operation was being done in New York. And I went. I didn't do it, but our people said, of course. And I remember this because this was one of the stories, Henry, that sits with you your whole life. That this child had never spoken, right? And so they went to the surgery, and they operated on him, and then he came out into recovery, and he opened his eyes and looked at his mother and went, "Mommy."
Oh.
Crash,
Freaking awesome.
crash. The first word he ever said, was "mommy," and we heard that, story, and it was like the most unbelievable story I ever heard, and it was one of the things. Of course, we have a lot of stories, but this one was so, as you're suggesting, with you, because nothing is worse when you have a child. I have an expression that you're only as happy as your saddest child. And if you're parents, and I know, I don't know who's parents in this room, but if God forbid something is wrong with your child, that makes your whole life unbelievably difficult. And you really have, so if we could do something that helps alleviate some of that pain and some of that problem, and whether it be through the charity or whether it be through a product that kids are really interested in, then that's a real, that's a blessing for us. It's a real blessing, because you can't. And I think, Henry, you're saying exactly, what I believe is correct. There's an expression that I use all the time that was, and a lot of people take credit for it. They said it was Abraham Lincoln, but now they say it wasn't Abraham Lincoln. But the expression that they use is that you've never stood as tall when you stoop to help a child. That was the expression, and to me, that's extraordinarily, what this is all about. We've all been blessed with a lot of good things, but we've also all, been caught in terrible situations too. And that I lost a child. So I know how that feels, but so whatever we can do to help this next generation, become as good as you guys and gals are, that's really the secret sauce, right?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Agreed.
Wow.
Absolutely.
I don't know, Al. Is this your niece? She's saying Uncle Al, and she seems relatively famous. She's got an IMDb page and all that.
Oh, great. Hi. Amira Atia? Is that the pronunciation?
Yeah, she's been in Bakugan, Battle Planet, Beyblade. I don't know if she had worked with you at some point somewhere.
She's an actress? Is that what she is? Is she a
I
voiceover?
think actress or voice actress.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Amira. Nice to meet you.
See what happens when you come on stream, Al. And I just want to say, Henry, we're so pleased. I do want to shout out that right behind you was Dr. Rolex, and Dr. Profit missed the deadline. So you had two doctors on your tail. So congrats and shout out to Dr. Rolex, who also was one of our biggest contributors directly to the charity. So I also want to shout him out for being number 2 in the bids, yeah. So Henry, definitely, I'll be getting your info and sending that to Al and how you want it signed and where and what color and all that kind of stuff.
And then Henry, you also get that 15-minute phone call as well with Al at some point.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that. So I'm probably gonna talk over you just like I did now, Al, to get those 15 minutes worth something. So,
and Henry, if it goes to 16 minutes, who's counting?
okay. Well, that makes me feel better.
We're not counting. Yeah. So I look forward to that too. I look forward to having a conversation with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And also Ms. Gecko also for helping us put together all the great video and flyers. Absolutely. She's great. I just want to make sure I touch on everybody. We have some other people that didn't, are having delays to the stream. Randy, that also, we have.
Just Johnny Dunn, and then I know Brock couldn't make it, but he said he donated some Feesh, and I'll give away ultra rare alligator Loki as well, and then.
Okay, and we have Sean. We have Sean, Kevin, and Spencer, who they're on the road, but they are donating a signed Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic book. So I'm gonna go ahead on here. Just I want to capture this, these spins. So this one's going to be for the comic from Sean and Spencer, the signed Mutant Ninja Turtle comic. I just want to get that one in. And Randy, how are you going to give away a Vivi collectible is what I want to know.
So what I would do is I would just go and just bug Reese and be like, hey, can we get transfer on for this particular thing? Either that, if he just tells me like, hey, well, wait until we get him back on, then that's fine. But I'll ask him and I'll see what he says.
All right.
As long as I don't ask him like all the time, I feel like he's okay with it.
Yeah. Since they disabled transfers, we can't give away anything anymore. So we got to get clever. So there we go. Or whoever with Randy.
Back to back.
All right. So number 53. Congrats.
Nice.
And our last group of items is going to be the Feesh. So Al, do you know about Brock McBreadcat? He's a real big Omi investor, and he has the Feesh's project, which burns Omi. So I also believe, Randy, correct me if I'm wrong, he owns a significant amount of Omi.
Yeah, he was on Taps Trade's stream one day, and Taps pretty much asked him, how much Omi do you have roundabout? And Brock said, well, some people have as much Omi, and what they have begins with the letter M, as in Mike per million, and some people might have another letter, and we're just guessing B for billion. Okay, 50. And was the 54? That was for Brock's giveaway?
Yeah, number 50. So I'm going to just go through. He's given 10 Feeshes away.
Oh, whoa, awesome.
Awesome. And those are burning Omi. So I'm just going to play them as you go through. So some people have that start with an M, and he's a B. So that's a lot of freaking Omi.
So he's got a lot. Also, after we are done with the Feeshes, he couldn't come on the podcast because it's super late for him. Number 38 is the winner for that one. Is Amar Singh, who is he was behind the Givenchy and Rewind Collective for Vivi. He's got a new platform coming out called Utility, and all of their profits and proceeds go towards charity as well. And their first launch is going to be next month, and he's giving away one guaranteed spot for a Winx collectible. So they'll be giving something away as well.
Wow.
Wow, that is amazing. I did not realize that Amar was doing that.
Yeah, I just talked to him today. He's just like, yeah, I'll. So I asked him. He's like, yeah, sure. Like, cool beans.
Oh my goodness. All right. So we're on number 5, Feesh. We got a lot of Feesh. But once again, we like Feesh. Those help us burn Omi. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Ooh,
so
a low one.
number 5.
Number 4.
Number 4. Okay.
And,
I don't know about your number 1, Randy. You might be in trouble with your number 1. I don't know.
That's fine. Doing the stream is more than enough fun. That's more than enough payment.
Hey, Al, see the passport here?
Oh, wait! Now you got to remember this. When I went to the State Department, if we could replicate a passport. And it'd be before 9/11, of course, right? And they said, "Sure, we'd love that." And actually, what happened was that there was actual stamps that were given out to the customs inspector.
Yeah, look.
If you show, you got it right. If you showed a Cabbage Patch passport, they would stamp the passport. And it was like today, of course, you couldn't even get near that. You imagine giving out.
Oh my God, I know. Yeah, my wife got it because it's from Holland, right? She's got the Holland one, the stamp. So this is with the Thought I'd show it to you because she was just here a second ago.
I mean, it was like we did so much crazy stuff trying to come up with new ideas for Cabbage Patch Kids. On a regular basis. So it was like incredible, amount of interesting.
Look at this. Look at this.
Jesus,
that's
you were really good.
Cabbage Patch doll shirt.
Okay, look.
He's my collectible.
Sharon, she's like right there.
Oh, he's gonna show you up.
Oh my gosh, he is showing you up.
Oh, I want him to show us up.
All right,
I'm going to ask you, Henry. I was going to ask you what's your best piece behind you because I am looking at your shelf the whole time you've been here.
It's him.
There it is.
Oh, hold on.
This was the Cabbage.
Wow, he's got his own.
It was made by me, and this is how I dressed every day. I wore a black suit. I actually had my watch on this thing, which was actually, pretty bad. Somebody took the watch off.
Where'd you go?
That's my Cabbage Patch Kid, and his name is. What name could you possibly?
That's awesome.
But
what was the craziest thing? I know what you did to the poor flight attendant and how you put your mini owl in
a second. I got Ray's on the call. Hang on a second. Hey, I'm on a podcast. Can you gonna be around for another half hour or 40 minutes?
I let me see that.
Okay, Ray, thanks. Bye.
Who's he talking to?
Who are you talking to?
Right, Ray's. Ray's from Vivi.
Reese.
Reese.
We should have told him. Come on.
What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
No, I said, well, you should have just told him to come on. I was going to ask you, Al, I know that you messed with the flight attendant and dropped Minnie Al, and you used to get high chairs in restaurants for Minnie Al. What was like the craziest reaction that you ever got carrying this doll around with you? Did like people question your sanity or hide their kids when you came? Like, I can't imagine seeing you carrying a doll through the airport.
It wasn't this doll. It was actually a Cabbage Patch baby, right? Cabbage Patch preview. And basically I carried it around in a piece of, like a swaddling, like a blanket. So you really didn't know if it was a real baby or not a real baby, right? But I remember when I take it to the restaurant, so you have this little thing that goes on a table, that you hooks onto a table.
Yeah.
And the more I played it up, people would look at you and go, like sometimes when you run into a crazy person, you don't want to piss them off.
They're the worst to fight.
He's crazy. So I think people sort of looked at it like it was, sort of funny, and it was, maybe not, I never really got anybody that said, boy, what a jerk, I never got that kind of a conversation.
No.
I'm sure they thought about it, after the fact and said, yeah, you are a jerk. But the part of my story and all this stuff was that the Cabbage Patch Kids gestalt, which was so powerful, so powerful. I mean, everybody wanted one. I mean, it was just like insane. And I just don't know, how that happened. How did that but I think what happened.
The papers, the adoption papers,
I think
and the birth
also,
certificate.
I think the fact that
Yeah.
they
All of it.
they were truly one of a kind, right? They were truly
Yeah.
one of a kind, which was very difficult. That those, how do you make these things one of a kind? But I'll tell you something that was really actually kind of interesting. So one day, we're trying to make these things in 20 different plants in China, and I get a call from one of our people that we're starting to see duplicates coming off the line. Occasionally there's something, another one comes off that's exactly the same as the one previously. And I said to myself, twins.
Oh.
We put them in a box and made them twins,
Very quick.
and they sold like crazy. It's like, and the truth be told, we tied them to the actual number that we said, okay, what's the chance of having twins? And we took that number, and actually built it into the production schedule so that it would actually be replicating what would happen in real life. They said, I don't remember what the number was, but of every number of live births, there were X number of twins. So that's how we got. It was an accident, a total accident.
Wow.
Awesome.
What a good way to turn a duplicate into a great marketing idea, because wow, that's amazing. And what about the preemie? My son Max, he was born 1 pound 12 ounces. So he really was a real preemie. How did you guys
This is a crazy story. We wanted to do a smaller version of Cabbage Patch Kid.
Okay.
So I don't know who came up with the thought of making it preemie. I don't think it was me. And, then we found out that preemie stands for premature baby, which is not good, which is a sick baby. We said, ooh, we got a problem. So I said to myself, how do we mitigate this problem? Because we now had, we're building these babies. We had packaging that was already printed. So I found out that remember the March of Dimes? The March of Dimes was originally a polio organization. And then when they, thank God, cured polio, they went on to become known for helping try to prevent premature babies. Okay. And it's located in Westchester. So I said to Xavier, I want you to fly in and meet me in Westchester and go to this office of this. It was called March of Dimes, which I think they changed their name, but I think the March of Dimes is what I remember. Talked to them about helping us mitigate this problem with preemies. So he shows up in this Cadillac that's got to be 27 feet tall, and he's wearing his cowboy boots and he's wearing his hat and everything else. And this is terrible. He takes one step out of the car and falls flat on his face. And I think he broke his nose. He's bleeding, all over his shirt. And I'm saying, I feel, oh God, I feel so badly for him. What do I do with him, right? And so I said to him, look, thank you for doing this. I said, but I was going to clean you up, which would get you washed up. But he really hurt himself. He tripped over something. So we went to the meeting at the March of Dimes, and I said, here, look what we're doing. We're going to, ship this product, but we'd love to get your endorsement of this product. So the idea that we came up with was that, again, there was no internet, right? At that time, there was no internet. There was nothing. So we're going to put a brochure in each baby cat preemie about how to prevent premature births. So the parents would read it. Then we'll put an envelope in there for a donation to the March of Dimes. Well, and we shipped them that way. We shipped them with the envelope and with this this book about how to prevent a premature birth, by taking care, how do you take care of yourself during the pregnancy, et cetera. And then I think they got about $800,000 worth of donations through that envelope. But it became a really, it really solved the problem that we had. We took a negative that was really, terrible, and turned it into something that was really positive for them and for us. So the charity component, which I think is important. Every time I do something that becomes really successful, you want to take the edge off it a little bit, right? So the way you take the edge off it is to do something, have a charitable component to it. Now, with Pokemon, we did a thing about reading, helping kids learn how to read. Because in Japan, the original Pokemon game was a role-playing game, right? Which you read on a Game Boy. And Japan was concerned that American kids don't read. They read. And I said, well, I don't know. But I decided that we should maybe do a charitable component with Pokemon that would help kids learn how to read who were having trouble learning how to read. So that was pretty good. It worked out really well. But the bottom line story is, don't forget that it's not just about making a lot of money, because ultimately, it's important, certainly, but you also have to realize that there's a lot more that you have to look at when you're doing these types of things, whether it be who is it impacting? Is there a charitable component to it? Is there something that you could be proud of besides just making money? Again, I'm not apologizing for that, but I'm saying that we also should look at that. There's so many things in this world that are bad, so many things that are horrible. I am sitting in New York, and it's 60 degrees outside in January. Does that say something to you right there? Wait, global warming? What the hell is going on? Right now, this should be the coldest month of the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
People are wearing shorts. It's 60 degrees outside. That's frightening. That's frightening, and yet we don't spend enough time on that to understand. At least most people don't care. But but that's another issue that is going to bite us. Eventually down the road.
And back to the Cabbage Patch dolls. When I was doing some research before I interviewed you Al the first time, I found that there were multiple stampedes at Hill's department store, and I believe it was Kmart, over these dolls. Like at Christmas, I don't think anybody died, but there were injuries over the Pokemon. I don't believe there were any deaths, but
I shot a documentary about Cabbage Patch Kids. It's going to be coming out, I think, who knows when, but it's the story about everything that went on during that period in the 80s. And basically, for some reason they focused on me, which I don't understand, but they had pictures of me on the Tonight Show, with Ted Koppel, on Nightline, with Letterman, on the Letterman Show.
We gotta find that.
All the things that we were
on YouTube now. We can go search
for
it. But Letterman is a piece of work. He came to the showroom in New York, and he said to me, "You're not going to be funny. I'm going to be funny. So you can't be funny." He made it very clear that he's the funny guy, and I'm not going to be the funny guy. Which I never thought I was funny anyway, so I don't know. So in the showroom with Cabbage Patch, we had them, those things that mothers wear that they put a baby into the front, whatever they call it,
a baby born, or baby born, or a little
baby, what do they call it?
A carrier,
Carrier.
Yeah.
So in the showroom, we had a lot of Cabbage Patch Kids that we hung them from different parts of the showroom in these snugglies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Letterman, who he's very quick, walks in and goes, "So, Mr. Kahn, is this how you punish bad Cabbage Patch Kids?" What do you say to that?
Yeah.
But he was definitely not interested in me having anything funny to say. But he was a strange guy. But the whole thing was nutty. The whole thing was crazy.
Wow, Al, you've met a lot of people. I mean, Ronald Reagan, Nancy Reagan, David Letterman. You really run the gamut.
Well, I also met you guys, which are more important to me than those guys, because you guys are doing something positive. These guys were doing it because that's their job. I mean, it wasn't like Letterman was doing it because he had a show, right?
Right.
You guys are here. I don't. You ain't getting paid.
My YouTube show.
And you're absolutely
great context of what you're trying to do, both with the community, which I think is really critical, and basically, you have you're demonstrating what's important, relative to everything else that's going on. I saw a sign that came up, and somebody said they went to Cleveland, Georgia, to visit, Heights, Mass Collectibles. Have you been down there recently? Because they built a new one, which is 140,000 square feet on 1,000 acres in Cleveland, Georgia. It's the second biggest tourist attraction in Georgia. And it's 140,000 square foot Cabbage Patch Babyland. It's called Babyland. And they make dolls there now that you couldn't believe. They make $900 Cabbage Patch Kids, $2,000 Cabbage Patch Kids.
Wow.
It's just so many. This guy is so clever in terms of how he designs all this stuff. And he and I had a long conversation, and we're talking about could we bring it back? Is there a way to bring it back?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to know because that was a specific type of thing at a specific time.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it would have the same. A lot of people knocked off the idea, right? You had, obviously pound puppies. You had all kinds of things that had adoption certificates that were part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll say this, Al. When I was at NFT NYC last year, and there was a bunch of these different projects, nobody really knew who they were, and it was whatever. And they all kind of looked very similar, and they all looked the same. One of the biggest hits there, though, was Neopets. And I don't know if anyone really heard of Neopets in the last, 15, 20 years, but everyone was around that booth. Everyone was excited about it. Nostalgia is really, really powerful. There's a couple of people and a few YouTubers that would go really ham, like, for example, if Cabbage Patch Kids were on Vivi, or if they, do their own thing again as a resurgence. There'd probably be a lot of demand for that.
It's interesting. We've looked at Neopets again. We've looked at it, and originally what that was the first product that attached to a website, and the idea was you had a little, I guess, a QR code or something on the Neopet, and then you could load it into your computer. Of course, very rudimentary, and you'd get a story about that particular Neopet, right? They sold a shitload of them. Sorry, they sold a lot of them. We looked at that again, actually. Is there a way to bring that one back? And we thought, maybe it's just too in the past. What I'm saying? Today you have so much with, augmented reality and 3D, et cetera, et cetera. But I totally remember that. And, it was really clever. There's another one. Do you remember the Star Registry dolls? Where you got a star? This guy had bought the universe. And then,
we do that every month. At end of every month, we give away a star in the universe.
There we go.
Let's go, superstar money.
Now that we're bringing back, that we're doing. But part of my story is that it was crazy, but it was a hook. It was a hook.
Yeah.
It was a hook. The Neopets was unbelievable. It was the first really big, collectible, except then of course as many years ago. This is going back way before anything else. But they were really smart. It was a Canadian company too. It was a Canadian company that did it. So it was really pretty cool. And I know people are trying to bring it back. I know people are looking at it to see if there's a way to bring it back. And maybe there is. I don't know. But there's been really some really clever ideas, that would be really could be brought back.
My husband thinks that and he wants a shout out because he also has been helping in the background, but he thinks the Cabbage Patch dolls would be a perfect mass one of one for Vivi. So he says they truly were the model for the NFTs, each one different, but all together. So maybe we, that could be our first Vivi one of ones, multiples, based on your attributes, the blue hair or the blue eyes, the blonde hair.
The twins? The twins? You could have a couple in there, twins.
Oh my gosh, that'd be like super rare.
I can't comment on that.
The triplets?
I don't want to give you anything that's going to end up being, Al said we're making NFT Cabbage Patch Kids.
I'm just saying.
Again,
He said that would be the perfect one of one for Vivi.
I think. Have you heard this story? This is crazy. We got this. It's so crazy that if I tell you, you won't believe it. And again, I'm not sure where it's going to land. You follow my point? But the Pope in Rome is selling, or the Vatican's got a business group. Okay, they try and raise money for their charities, right? So the Pope they're going to be selling a digital collectible ticket. Okay, and the ticket it's $1 million, and it gives you a 45-minute private audience with the Pope and some kind of a physical thing that would go along with it. You follow? But it's $1 million, and it's going to happen. Somebody's going to bring it out, and they're going to sell 10 of these things for $1 million. Mm-hmm. And I wonder how many times they'll be churned before somebody shows up at the Vatican, right? Because somebody goes, "I'll give you $2 million for that," and you can see that kind of thing. Sort of. Mm-hmm. I was on that phone call. I was like, "Whoa."
Is that going to be in the Sistine Chapel, like right in there?
I think you meet in the Pope's office. I guess I don't know.
His office. Wow.
Yeah. And says for like 45 minutes or an hour.
But I do know that there's going to be some stuff done with the Vatican. I can't tell you it's Vivi, but I do know there's some stuff that's going to come out with that regard. But that's the one that struck me as being, holy mackerel. That's
I mean, Vivi's so far ahead of the competition, any other competition anyway. That just wouldn't be fair if Vivi got that. But you said it was for like an hour with the Pope?
Can you imagine, Randy?
45 minutes, Randy.
There's so many crazy stuff that's that's out there.
So it's 45 minutes, $1 million. Like, obviously, this is really to help promote the charity and stuff. But how much would you charge? Do you think would be a fair amount if we were to do the same thing? Like, hey, get this ticket, and you could spend 45 minutes with Kahn at like a lunch.
I don't know. I mean,
like a New York Comic-Con event. Like, David's already doing it. So, I don't know. Do they already have you marked for Vivi as because David's given away a one of one, which included a luncheon.
Yeah, it was 2.
Randy, you attended that, and that went.
Yeah, one was a dinner, one was a lunch.
Yeah. Look, I didn't know about it. So I don't know. It was just hard to know. But what I was shocked about, because again, I'm not really. I don't know if anybody see the Ink magazine article that came out about me.
Yes, I read the whole article on a YouTube video. Yes. It was great.
It's November, I guess, of last year, and I didn't realize there was an interest in that. There was no question. I didn't even know. So I don't know what these things are. I don't know. It's hard to sit here and go, well, what are you worth? I have no idea. You're worth whatever somebody's willing to pay for it, right? I guess that's the story about it. But certainly we could look anything. It's such a crazy world that anything that you can think of that might make some real money.
Well, we could talk. We could definitely help. We could definitely do a lot of things with that. Like I said, we'll definitely talk off camera. I think we've done all the giveaways now, right? And
one more. This is the one for Amar.
Okay, cool. This is for a guaranteed spot for a Winx collectible.
Yep. So
that if it sells out, you have 24 hours.
For what collectible?
It's called Winx. They're like these little. Hey, you could re-roll it because that one's me.
Oh my gosh, it's
number one.
Yeah.
Are these little dolls?
Winx are they're little. Well, they're digital collectibles, but I think they were like fairies. If I go and I type in Winx, it's called Winx Club.
Yes. Wait, stop. Who did that?
Oh, was that you?
Yep.
I didn't even know how many
years ago that was. But that was Winx Club out of Italy. It was a company out of Italy that came up with the idea of Winx Club. And we represented it. And I remember we did a television show, right? Yeah. They were fairies, and we sold it to Mattel, to do it. We told them you can't put wings on Barbie. Can't put wings on Barbie. Well, of course they put wings on Barbie. So that didn't help us. But But yes, Winx Club I know very well. It is the guy's name was it's an Italian company still in business, and Winx was huge in Europe. It was really big in the United States too, and Europe. But then Barbie, of course, put wings on Barbie, which didn't help us. You follow?
Yeah.
You put wings on Barbie?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
They did.
They
Oh,
did,
okay.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so I guess they still owned it, and I know it's co-owned by Viacom, and I guess maybe that's how we got the contact, and that's how we got it. So that's
I think it's owned by a guy, this Italian company. Give me a second, I can remember their name. But they also Rainbow. The name of the company was called Rainbow.
yeah. By the artist was Agino Straffi.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's his wife. Did you know them?
I don't. I haven't met them. Amar Singh does. He's
That's exactly them.
Wow.
Yeah, the company's called Rainbow out of Italy. Yeah, and Strati was actually that's the guy. Yeah.
Awesome.
Wow. What haven't you done, Al? Come on.
Yeah.
I gotta ask real quick: is your Twitter address Alcon7 for the 7th company you're hoping Vivi, or is that your why the 7?
I didn't name it.
You didn't make your Twitter account.
I am so not technical. You can't stand it. I mean, it's like.
Did Alex G?
I'm sure you wrote a damn invitation to a website. I can't do it. It's like I'm just not there with that.
Okay, well, that's what I'm going to say. Your Twitter address stands for the 7.
The balance to all this is that look, if you're curious and you really keep looking around, that's when you find stuff. You follow? And I was very curious, and I would always travel around, whether it be Europe or Asia, and I really and basically, here's Jeremy just wrote me a note. Talking about how his kids learning to read with Pokemon. Wow.
Yeah.
Laura says
it's true.
Loves Winx Club, so that's still around.
Yeah. Yeah. They had a resurgence with Amar. We have a Discord running.
Yeah, and look, you think about Beanie Babies. That was another one. I didn't have anything to do with that, but that was unbelievable too. And he's a guy. This guy. It was an amazing thing that they did with that. So all these things, some of them have a tendency to come back, or some of them don't. But Cabbage Patch Kids, I think there's a lot of things that could be done with that. The question is whether he wants to do it. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
He's super protective of it, and so I don't know what he's going to do. We certainly have had conversations. I'm not sure where his head's at, in terms of what he wants to do with the other stuff, et cetera, et cetera. But
I mean, you get the physical and the digital.
Oh, it's a fidgetal. We want fidgetal.
My wife would be all over that stuff. Believe me.
I really believe.
Yeah.
Me too.
I really
100%.
Another vertical of the digital collectible universe will be a combo, of a digital situation and a something that's really attached to it. We have this office, which I have 2 partners, and they started a comic book company called 451, and they've got the most amazing comic books. They've got really incredible. They're all being printed now, and some of them are in development for television shows, etc. And I could certainly see those comic books being merchandised as a digital collectible with some kind of a low limited edition or one of a kind something, whether it be a figure or whether it be something like that. In concert with that, I think it would be great. So I think you're going to see that. Not necessarily. I think you're going to see that kind of stuff coming out eventually. I cannot speak to Vivi because I don't know what. I know David is up on top of everything. So, but I think that you're going to see combinations of things, and it's great. It'll extend the market. Extend the the play pattern. It'll do all kinds of things. It'll create more collectability. It'll do all kinds of things. So I think you're going to, hopefully, see those kinds of things coming out. And some of them are out already. I think we see them all. The question is, how limited could you get them? You follow?
Yeah.
There's a Comey. There's speak of the devil. Speak of Reese. So before we end it, I know you have to go. Obviously, there's Reese there. We have
Reese is like, quit talking, Randy. I need to talk to Al. Which Reese, you're more than welcome. We won't say a word. Come on in.
Anybody have any questions? Maybe give 2 minutes. If anybody is here listening to this, anybody have a question?
We'll go around the table. Superstar Money. You got anything? Oh, is it mic's off?
Sorry, the baby crying in the background. I'm trying to mute that out. But earlier you talked about how you were looking at Marvel, and you talked about the X-Men figurines early on. And I forget the name you used, but you said it was a limited type of collectible that you were trying to do back then. Wondering how you think about like mint sizes when it comes to like this digital stuff. Do you think that in order for future mass adoption, or I don't know if it's just because of the time we're in now, but do you think future mass adoption, they should be keeping these collectible mint runs a little bit smaller, or do you think we got to blast them out and just try and get everybody a little bit of a little piece of it? Like, how do you feel this market is best advertised, I guess, in terms of the number of collectibles?
That's a good question. Of course, as you know, all the major licensors have created characters in every size under the planet, right? And, miniatures and 6 inches and 12 inches and 15 inches. I think a lot of it has to do with where the target audience is, who you're trying to appeal to. Because if you're appealing to an older audience, which may or may not, they want something, I think, a little more substantial. Whereas if you're appealing to children, they may want something that's a little bit less, a little bit more collectible because it's cheaper, right? And you're talking about these larger ones, you probably, have a price point that's probably not in the realm of your children. But of course, in today's world, the adults are really driving a lot of this collectability, especially toys. I mean, how many toys are being sold to adults is unbelievable. Look, I'm going to make a statement here. If anybody wants to join me on these adventures and they want to become part of our company, I'm open. Anybody that wants to, come in and say, look, I'm willing to take a little whack with you, because I'll sell a little piece of these. I'll sell a tiny piece of some of this stuff, just because I'd like to share it with other people. Because it's not about the money, because the money's not going to be that fantastic. But the bottom line is, I was thinking of doing a GoFundMe page or one of those things, crazy things like that. But I don't know how to do it, so I'm not doing it. But the bottom line is that,
I don't know how to do it
We can
either.
help you, Al. Al, do you realize that Randy, Superstar Money, My Collectibles, myself, combined this month off of, what we do every single day in Spaces, we might have $200 in total income. Me, I don't have any. So we're doing all this. Randy streams, 2 hours a day, and
minimum.
Minimum. And it's all for the love of Vivi. I mean, Superstar, you guys.
I think that there are. It's so funny when you start looking at things. You never know what they're going to do. It's hard to know, if something is going to be, is it going to be like, a cannon, or is it going to be like an anger, But I'm going to put together some kind of a package, where I can get people, if they want to invest in some of our new products and some of our new companies, we'll give them an opportunity to do it. And I'm not sure how to do it yet, but I think that it would be fun, and I think it would be also give people another way of seeing how things get developed, how things get, how things are getting really, acclimated. Because look, you look at some of these numbers, and they're astronomical. I remember when I started 4Kids, I started it with about $300,000, and before I knew it, it was $1 billion company. So, not to suggest that's what's happened. That happens all the time, but I think with the people that we have in my organization now, I think we're going to hit a couple of these things, really hard. And I don't want to go. I don't want a hedge fund. I don't want to go to. I'd rather give small pieces to individuals. And then they can be part and parcel of the journey, which is kind of fun. The journey is unbelievable. I mean, the journey is just such a crazy scenario. I mean, in the meetings we have, you're going through this stuff, and you're going through, okay, what are you going to do with this thing? What are you going to do with that thing? What are you going to do with this thing and that thing? But this Kung Fu pork choppers, I think, is going to be pretty good. And what does that mean? I don't know what it means.
But, Al, you have an army. I mean, I don't know if you realize, just the people here, the people, unfortunately, comics and crypto, Johnny Dunn, NFT Pirates, everybody you have here is an army. And, each of you guys have your own, your own followers, etc. So, I'm not going to speak for everybody, but I know, you have a team here, even though you might not even realize it, that will absolutely help facilitate, this for you. And, you said, oh, I don't understand technology. That's okay, because my Collectibles does.
I don't know how to do a GoFundMe, but
we'll figure it out, Mike. Just agree, my Collectible.
I guess got to do is figure out how to do it. That really, is first of all makes sense, for everybody, and two, because I think again. The idea is getting the broadest possible group that you could get. So it's not like one guy coming in and say, here's $1 million. We don't want that. That's that's like, I don't know what we want, but I'm not sure we want anything. But the idea is that to get this group that's so passionate, think about it. If you got this group that was so passionate, now that I'm not trying to take anything away from Vivi at all. Don't get me wrong. But the bottom line story is you got a group that's really passionate, and they become your influencers, right? They become your spreading the word, which is really critical in this whole game, is spreading the word. As you know, in the Collectible, now we're talking about children, though. So we're talking about how do you spread the word to children? Well, you spread it through obviously, different ways. You go to certainly parents are important in that regard. Mm-hmm. So we talk about children's properties. I was reading an article today that we have a new property coming out that I mentioned to you, about first responders, and we're going after Paw Patrol. Okay, and Paw Patrol, if you ever heard of it.
Oh yeah.
This year did $2 billion.
Wow.
$2 billion, and so it's been extraordinarily successful for a long time, and we came up with another idea on how to compete with them in a different form. But so. I would love to have an army of people who are all working together.
I'm telling you, Randy, am I lying? Superstar Money, MC1, Henry, am I lying?
There's a.
You ain't lying.
I'm telling you.
Anyone on here will probably be able to have it in their own experiences, whether it's Lori on Spaces, my Collectible, or anyone that's streaming. I think Henry, the only one that might not have a channel yet. We will, whenever we go live, there's always going to be the same people that's there. There's always a bunch of different people, but there's always a core group of people that's always there listening, regardless whether I go live at 3 a.m, 1 p.m, anytime in between. Mm-hmm. And yeah, like Justin, they will go to war for you. Like they will go and
So I think
if you look at even in Spaces, I could speak. You look at the other projects and the spaces and the sizes. Vivi pretty much has one 24/7. My Collectibles, you're in there quite a bit with me. No other projects do it. Like they might have an hour a week with with an AMA, not Vivi. Every single day, every morning, practically 24/7. There's Twitter. It's going on. You guys are streaming, putting out videos. It's really like no other NFT community.
I think we always talk about Vivi for a second. Vivi is going to be one of the ones that's going to survive. You hear all these stories about all these companies that are
Mm-hmm.
in real trouble, and or have gone out of business, and and I think and again, I don't have any inside information on Vivi's finances. I know nothing, but they have kept they have kept really, I think, themselves as lean as they possibly can, and they basically have really decided to sustain a really become careful about how they operate, so they don't fall into all these issues. And again, I think I'm hopeful that there'll be one of these sustaining companies that will eventually be beneficial because they've sustained. And and it's and you said he really is a that's really the issue. Some of these other companies that have gotten into real trouble, they did a lot of things that were problematic. They did a lot of things, and I'm not an expert on what they did or what they didn't do. But but the BV community is is really powerful and really something that that really gives this thing a different scope in terms of what what is going on. So I want to do that. I certainly want you to continue to do the BV thing. Certainly, I might ask you to, that's because I'm certainly going to continue to do it. But I want you to think about children too. About children and how how much interesting things that could be done. And that could be done. In the concert, because now you got these huge conglomerates have taken over the children's business. Whether it be Disney, who's amazing, or Paramount, or whatever they may be. But all of them, don't have a what do you call it? Have a
following a cult.
Monopoly on on ideas. The ideas are free floating. They are. So I got to figure this out, because I want to have an army, and I want to have the army that is helping develop these it helps develop some of these new things. And if we got a lot of people to do it, we could do more. You follow? And also and not make it that only the rich people can invest. But that makes I hate that. I hate that. I'd like to see. I don't know what it is. This just hit me as we were talking about other things in regard to in terms of what the kids' businesses is, and and you can really modify the price points. You can really do things if you're it's what to do. You follow that point?
Yeah.
So anyway,
I wanted to ask you, Al, because I know Superstar, that was a great question you asked. And if we're just going around real quick, I think and you can tell us, but because we're all quite passionate about what we're doing, and it's not like about the money mostly, right? So it's about the brands, and it's about the community that we're in, and that's what keeps me going. That's why I even started making videos, was just literally to talk about what we're doing, right, with Vivi and all the stuff and all my favorite stuff. So for you, like, what keeps you going? Like, I mean, you've had all these great experiences. I mean, all these great business adventures. I mean, we just love hearing about them. I know you're a bit modest about it, but we could sit here and listen to your stories all day, and we would love it and love it and love it. So, like, what keeps you going? Is it the passion for? Is it the finding the new thing? Because obviously you said it's not like you just mentioned. It's not necessarily all about just the money and just making money. I mean, you're doing, like, is it? It must be the passion. You must get just like the rest of us with what we're trying to do. It's a big question, right? So,
well, I think it's a really good question, because I certainly ask myself that all the time. What are you doing? But I think there's I think there's two sides to it. I think one side is I've had ups and downs, right? I've had ups and downs. We lost a ton of money on Lehman Brothers. We lost a ton of money on Lehman Brothers. who knew that they were going to go belly up? You're talking about a crypto company bellying up. Lehman Brothers was like the #1 bank in the world. And we put in a shitload of money into Lehman Brothers, and we never got it back.
Oh.
So when they went Chapter 11, and that was the million years, you wouldn't think that would have happened in that environment. So that environment was like they'd been around for 150 years, and what they were doing, they were a cash management company, right? So you put extra cash in there, and they would manage the cash. They took it and put in auction rate securities, and we never saw it back. So that was a big blow. That was a big blow. But by the same token, you always look at what's going on around the world, and like you say, well, what would I always think of things like, I look at something, why do they do that? What reason do they do that? Was it even though, because I don't necessarily agree with what they're doing, and I love looking at problems and see if there's a solution to the problem, right? Mm-hmm. And we've come up with so many ideas, and some of them, and the biggest and most important thing about ideas is not so much, of course, the idea is the most prevalent thing, but the most important thing is timing. Mm-hmm. Timing. I can tell you ideas I came up with that were great, and they never got off the ground because they were too early for them. I came up with a kid's Wi-Fi phone 20 years ago.
Wow.
Huh.
Yeah. Okay, I was convinced that everybody was going to be on Wi-Fi, and that as opposed to giving the kids a cell phone, give them a Wi-Fi phone, which would be free, basically free. Because they figured, I said, look, they have them in the house, they have them at Disney World, they have them everywhere they need it. And I couldn't get anybody to bite on it. I really couldn't. And and no one really. Everybody was afraid of AT&T. They were afraid of competing with these guys. We weren't competing with them. It was like a walkie-talkie. It was just, but no one bought into it. That was one of my favorite ideas that had never got off the ground. Never got off the ground. And I look back at it, and it's because I think I was just too early. Mm-hmm. I think I was just too early. And I think sometimes, like look at David. If David had done this 10 years ago, it wouldn't have worked, or even a couple of, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. So timing to me is the most critical angle of all this stuff. And then you look at, people talking about, metaverses and, all the different things that are coming up around the world. To me, the most interesting thing is artificial intelligence. That's the most interesting thing to me, because I'm now looking at a couple of, there's a new one that came out, a new artificial intelligence program that's going to kick the shit out of Google, because not only does it answer your questions, but it writes your code.
Is that the one that Microsoft is buying?
Chat GPT.
This came out from, I got a presentation on it the other day. I was just sitting there going, I was blown away by it. I think, actually, I truthfully think it's a test. I think it's one of the cards companies. The crazy lunatic that runs Tesla. I think it's one of his companies.
OpenAI. Neuralink.
But I think that there's artificial intelligence, because it's sort of, no one knows what the hell it really is. Mm-hmm. So in my company, we do a lot of things. One of the things we do now, I'll give you another piece of the potty. We have a program that is a program that connects. How many cameras there are in the United States? Cameras that police departments and everybody uses. Huge amounts. There's like millions of these cameras. I mean, hundreds of millions of these cameras. So this company that they asked me to help them got involved and made a new piece of artificial intelligence software that actually connects to your existing camera system, right? Mm-hmm. What does it do? When it's scanning, it can tell who has a weapon. It actually knows, based on all the millions and millions of images, about who's carrying a weapon. Well, this has gotten unbelievable attention. I'm in it. It's part of my. It's part of my company. Not that I don't own it, and I know we've got it into the New York subway system is testing it. The FBI is testing it. We've got. But the point is, think about it in schools. If that school had it, and they pictured a guy coming into the building with a weapon, And right away, there's a notification that goes to every law enforcement,
Wow.
there's a guy with a weapon. What might have happened if the guy came into Vegas into that park? If the cameras were scanning the hotels, which they were, they saw that weapon in the window.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a pretty big deal. It's part of what we do in now, because I'm not just doing products. I'm not just doing I'm doing other things too. And I think artificial intelligence to me, in medicine, it's unbelievable. Can you imagine? God forbid you guys have to go get CAT scans or something. That the artificial intelligence can be could identify things much better than the woman, the guy who's reading the X-ray.
Yeah, I think they can read like 1,000 different shades of gray.
That's
like
right. Exactly right. So this is what I'm very much into. Medical stuff. I like that. In terms of so we have some things in the portfolio that are relevant to medical. But my love is still the kids business, and come up with stuff that kids want to play with, or the parents want to play with. You talk about teaching a kid how to read. We have a great concept for teaching a kid how to read, an incredible concept. And we didn't invent it. It was invented by a guy who I know, and I got funded by the Department of Education, the U.S. Department of Education, and he developed a system that is so clever for helping kids learn how to read. And if we can get that into the right position, it's everybody will love it because it's such a simple idea, and it works like a charm. And and also you get an endorsement from the U.S. Department of Education. It's not so bad, right? But that's another project that's in the pipeline. Well, if you have kids, who's got kids? Okay, how old are your kids? How old are your kids?
9 months.
There you go.
So, as he gets older, after he gets older, one of your big problems with a child is getting them to go to sleep.
She doesn't sleep right now.
It's a big problem. And one of the ways you can get a child to go to sleep is by making them warmer, making them feel more comfortable. But there's nothing that's built to really do that. And we found a technology which is so unbelievable that actually sends a warm wave through the child's body into their brain, and it's not a medical device.
Wow.
And it basically puts them to sleep within 5 minutes.
Oh,
it already exists.
What exists?
Superstars. Send it over.
It's an adult product.
I'll send you the check.
Wow, you're going to get so many emails from parents now. Why did you say that?
Those are the kind of things. The problem. You can find a problem in terms of raising kids and come up with a solution for that problem. And again, I believe strongly, teaching kids how to read is a big problem. A lot of kids don't read grade level. I think, getting kids to go to sleep, there's a lot of things, but the things that I've sort of wrapped my brain around are those two, and, other things as well. I mean, I look at Lego and I said, is there another way to do Lego? Because they're, again, the biggest toy company in the world. Wow. Unbelievable. I mean, what they
Mega expensive too.
Look up there. My minifigures.
You got a Lego collection too?
Yeah, ready to see the minifigures?
Yeah. It's at the bottom of my story.
I got tons of those.
Is that?
Well, that was a poster.
Those are like, it's like an open. They're all.
That's right. And I think
cool.
that there's another way to create
That's cool.
environment which is not going to take away from Lego, of course. It's not even Lego. It's something else. But we've come up with another thing that I think is really great. And it's another, kids product that it gives you a same sense of, but it's almost like a younger version of Lego, but it's I don't want to tell you what it is because it's a secret.
Yeah.
But it's
Save it.
But it's enclosed. It does, the parts aren't all over the floor. You basically, kids can play with it and they can take it with them. But it's not. There's not 1,000 parts. all over the floor that which are great. I mean, Lego is unbelievable. It's an unbelievable company. So Crayola, another company that I love, that we looked at. We're working with Crayola now on a couple of things. So all these things come part and parcel of this universe that I'm trying to establish, that requires time, and it requires ability to execute all these things.
This is so funny you're mentioning this stuff, because this is my original first Crayola cart.
Oh, there you go. You are the best.
I got it right on my shelf back there.
Okay, so
This is like legit from when I was a kid. I've always kept it. I don't know why.
You're a true collector.
I don't know why, but it's
Here's the biggest problem with Crayola. I say problem. They should
it's over there on the wall. I don't know why.
They're owned by Hallmark, right? Hallmark owns Crayola.
Yeah.
Young children can't use a crayon. Really young children can't hold a crayon until they're about 3.
Yeah.
Because it's like a pencil. So what do you do? How do you get children to be able to handle arts and crafts supplies at a very young age? Well, we have it. We did a new show on it. It's coming out. It's called Wonder Balls, and it's like it's pretty cool. And basically, it teaches kids how to do arts and crafts without having to use a traditional crayon.
Wow. So cool.
So those are the kind of things that I think about all the time. Drives me crazy.
That's what keeps you going. That's what keeps you going. It's amazing.
And I want to bring more people into the fold, because I think it would be great to have a universe of disruptors. But not disruptors that are doing stuff that's crazy and shitty, but doing stuff that helps children, helps the economy, helps do things that are really exciting. Anyway, I have to unfortunately whoa, 10 to 9.
Reese is calling.
Yeah, Reese is not going to talk to me again.
I know, we're all in trouble with Reese now.
My wife bought me an iWatch for Christmas, and I got it, and I go, how do you work this thing? So basically, I got it. I went to the Apple store, which is a complete difficult issue, and basically they figured it out. But it's now that I understand it, it's like it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's great. It's great. Anyway,
Well,
hey, I hope I didn't bore you guys.
Yeah, thank you
so much, Al.
We'll have you schedule the call with Henry at some point.
Yeah, and I'll follow up with you on getting the cards signed as well. And thanks everybody once again. We almost hit 2,500.
This is a lot of fun, and I'm sorry if I overspoke. Maybe.
No, because we love hearing your stories. We love hearing everything about you.
We love it.
Anyway, have a great night.
You too.
Let's keep Vivi. Vivi is going to be, one of these linchpins to what the future holds.
Mm-hmm.
Because Vivi, the one thing about Vivi that I think is important is that it's changeable, it's malleable, it's not locked into a technology, it's not locked into a certain state, it's not locked into what kills things quicker. You're just not going to, have that problem with Vivi, because Vivi is always going to be a changing, sphere of things, because they're going to know what has to be done, to keep this thing current in terms of what the currency is. So I really am hopeful, and I believe that Vivi hopefully will, continue to do what it needs to do. I'm not a fortune teller, so I can't promise anything. You follow? But
Pokemon? What are we getting?
Pokemon?
Wait,
Glory.
your Pokemon.
I can't promise anything. But I can tell you that I wouldn't be certainly working with them if I didn't feel they were trying to do the right thing and trying to get the right thing done. Would that mean they would be able to? We don't know, because that's the beauty of this whole thing. You just don't know what happens. But that's also the mysteriousness,
Yes.
Thank you, Al.
Thank you so much, Al. It was a pleasure. Come back anytime, and we'll be in touch.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye. Wow, we should have story
awesome.
time with Al. What do you think, Randy?
I think he's probably in business meetings so much, and he's all about business, that he never really has time to talk about stuff that he wants to talk about. He always has to do the things that you have to do for business. So I feel like this is a really good escape from him. I asked him before his streams, hey, listen, I know you're really busy. We can get in and out in like a half hour. He's like, well, how long do you need me for? I was like, well, we have a whole show plan. We can go for like 3 hours. He's like, well, I won't stay that long. We'll see. And almost 2 hours later. So,
do you think he's the type of guy that gets bored?
No, because I think he always has something to do. I don't think boredom exists for him.
Because I think he was retired, and then he unretired, came to Vivi, from what I read.
No.
But I'm wondering if he was just like, I can't do this. I can't be retired. There's still so much to do, because I think the gentleman's 75 years old and still looks good and still brain functioning fine. Everything.
Yeah, he's sharp.
I asked him like what keeps him going, because with all the stuff that you just sit and listen, even just this like 2 hours. And thanks for letting me come on. I've never talked with Al before, and so it's so special for me, Randy and Queen, and it's, just sitting here. It's just so cool just listening to him being this close, right? Because Henry, I know you're feeling it too, right? And Superstar, I mean, but just hearing him, and you can tell that. I guess why I want to ask him. I said, like, he's done so much. He could just be like, well, I've done a ton. Like, I'm good. Like, I've done it all. But I think he's still got that passion and like the ideas. He sees things, and I think what he said about solving problems, like seeing problems, like not like and then he finding solution for the problems. That's kind of the juice. And then like they all don't work out. It's interesting. I'd love to hear some of the failure stories too, because he said that idea about the Wi-Fi phone. I mean, we all walk around right now with our phones and we connect to Wi-Fi, and we're like talking like, like when I was down in my holiday, we shut off our cell service because you don't want to get charged every day. And we were just Wi-Fi calling, around the hotel. I mean, it's like this. My kids got their phone. We didn't even give them data the first year they had it. They just Wi-Fi'd every. So he was like, he already had it. It's amazing.
I mean, I feel like Wi-Fi is like the old electric. Like when you walk into a room, you like feel for like, the light switch. And I feel like every time you walk into a house now, hey, what's the Wi-Fi? Like you automatically assume people have Wi-Fi the same way that you assume every room has electricity.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, Randy, thank you again. Unfortunately, Chad and Johnny were stuck at work and Sean is driving.
Yeah.
So, you know what? That's okay. But they definitely said, they would have made it if they could have. But yeah, thank you guys, Superstar Money. I appreciate it. And my collectibles, I think it made it fun for him. And he likes to, he likes to share. So, and of course, Henry, once again, thank you. I can't wait to see who number 27, whatever.
Yeah, all these people are.
Yeah, let us know where to send the shirt and the hat or whatever.
Yeah,
and I'll be in the DMs.
Absolutely, I will. And Henry, of course, I'll be following up with you as well, and we'll take care of the card and the phone call.
Yeah. And Henry, you might not have been here for the first part. There is another giveaway. The auction will start, I think, maybe tomorrow or in the next couple of days at some point. It'll be a 7-day auction. It is for I think Al's only signed 2 Funko Pops. This is one of them, but this is also signed by David and Al. That's the wrong way. That's the wrong way. Okay. So it is a guy that has it in Germany, and he went to Comic-Con. He got them all to sign it. Let me make sure there's no other dirty photos. No, we're good.
The comic book scandal of 2020 or whatever it was.
So yeah, there's another one in case you wanted that as well. But I think this time Dr. Rolex might be a little salty that you beat him on this one, and Dr. Profit will come in for it. So
or
maybe we'll have it as a raffle.
I'll give someone else a chance this time.
we might just do it as a raffle, because this way,
that's probably better. Yeah.
Yeah. Raffle's probably better. Do the same thing. $10 per ticket. We'll sell like, I don't know, how many tickets should we do?
It's hard to know, Rand. You know what I mean? I don't.
One each.
Yeah.
I mean, I was gonna put it at 100, but there's gonna be more than 100 people that want this, so we can do it unlimited. Like, you can buy as many tickets as you want, I guess.
That's what I did. That's what I did.
Yeah.
But what charity? Once again, can you tell us what charity that's gonna go to?
Yeah, we'll split it between Best Friends Animal Society, and because this is kind of part of Al's thing, we'll split it between that and then the First Responders Children's Foundation.
That's great.
Awesome.
Cool.
That's really great.
And Henry, I asked you earlier, what's your best thing on the wall behind you?
Oh, I've got a few things.
You'll be able to talk to Al yourself and tell him, right? But there's just some stuff back there I can't stop looking at, but I'm trying to see what it is. So I'm asking.
Well, I got Gem 10, Shadowless base.
Oh, look at Randy's face.
Randy
Gem
just
10.
lit up.
So I got that. You have to be careful with this guy. First edition Team Rocket, as well, sealed, completely sealed, and all that.
The card went to the right guy.
Yeah.
Oh, it did. It did.
got
Like I said, yeah.
Loose packs. You guys want to open one?
Oh, base. Wait, that's a base set pack?
Yeah, it's the unlimited one.
But still,
let's
it's a bit. I mean,
open it.
Let's open it. We'll give
here
the
we
viewers
go.
something.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Is it 3 or 4 cards, Randy? Remember the secret?
I think it's 3. If I'm remembering, it's 3. Well, you have to take away 3. I don't know. I forget. I haven't opened one in so long.
We'll
You're
find
so
out
excited
here.
right now.
We'll know if it's the first. If it's the first card that you have.
Let me see. 1, 2, 3,
History,
4.
history.
Okay.
It's 3.
Okay,
I think it's 3.
4.
If you take away 4, I think the first one you'll see is the hollow. So I think just take away 3.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Okay, this is opening a base unlimited pack. So we'll start.
All right.
Okay. There's Drowsy. I'll put it right here. There you go.
That's the
There's the trainer. Oh.
Why am I nervous? Why am I nervous? My hands are sweating. Why?
Onyx. Look at that defense. Remember we used to play that?
Yeah.
The first card we had on the field. Ponyta, classic. Well, they're all classic, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Energy.
All right.
Nice centering on those.
Energy. Trainer. That's not the rare. No, it's not. Okay.
Okay. Oh,
Juju.
Eradicate.
Eradicate.
Let's go.
I think we got 2 or 3 more. All right, 2 more. Charmeleon. Nice.
Let's go.
All right. Ready?
Oh,
First pack magic. Oh, it's yellow. Oh.
Is that those? Is that those?
Electabuzz. Very cool. The
That was
setting
fun.
looks pretty good on that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could just watch this all day. I could just watch this.
You know, Al keeps
Well.
telling us that he has like he has storage lockers where he might have like stuff, and you know, like
I got a few, but I don't know.
We don't have to.
Maybe next time.
So
Wow.
when Superstar Money, Joe, were you on the call when Al was showing the watch?
Yeah.
So guys, he was showing a watch that I've never seen, and it was a watch they handed out with the first movie, but I've never seen it. So I think it was only a watch that was given to people really involved with the project. And he's like, I don't know if it's worth anything. Like, I've never seen that. I'm sure that's worth a good amount. So
You mean the Pokemon movie, the first one?
yeah.
Or-
Like, do you remember
Oh,
watching being given out for that?
I just remember the cards.
Yeah,
I don't
same. I
remember.
remember the
Mewtwo
Mewtwo,
cards.
the Mew, and they had like special Pikachu edition cards, but for the movie. But I don't remember the watch. So I'll do a thing with him, and we'll go through his storage locker, and I'll be like, hey, this one's worth it. This one's not.
we gotta find those. He told me, and he told Randy as well. He's like, I think I have some storage lockers, and I might have some Pokemon cards in there. And we're like, where is this locker?
No, really.
So
It's crazy, right?
that was fun. That
I mean,
was
can you
really
imagine
fun.
all the meetings and all the stuff and just incredible, right? It's incredible.
And
It
he's
really
so
is.
Do you
He's
guys
chatting
think-
with us. Guys, he's chatting with us. Like, we're
Yeah, that's
and like Randy, you guys are bringing him, like, it's so cool you're getting to know him, and he's just chatting with us, telling us.
He
some
almost bought
stories.
Marvel.
Just hanging out.
What was that about? He's like, yeah, we were trying to buy Marvel. And I was like,
Oh yeah, that's right.
did he just say?
just
Casual. It was so casual.
Yeah,
Do
You know,
you
Nancy
guys
Reagan-
think though?
Oh,
Do you guys think Vivi does have Pokemon?
Well, Lori dropped Lori, you are not afraid to go out and throw that grenade out there.
Yeah.
Pull that pin and run away. When she asked, David finally said, "Listen, guys, we'll let you know that we're talking with the offices right now, and we don't have, like, we don't know which way it's going to go, but they have been in talks, and I've done videos on this, and there is no other. Either Pokemon and Nintendo will go with Vivi, or they'll do it themselves. There is 0% chance they're going with any other collectibles app. They just won't.
And
Because
Randy's
David
right.
has one.
He actually did give me a little bit of alpha when he came. And David is coming back to Queen's Court on January 25th, and we're going to follow up on that question and ask him how that discussion and how those talks are going, and a little bit about what might be the barrier for Pokemon jumping into the NFT game. So we'll see where it goes, right?
I think the timing, right? Because I know you guys were talking about it before. I think and it's just what Al was saying. It's timing. And I know this conversation with Pokemon came up a little while ago. It's come up all the time, but I remember, I can't remember when it was, but it was early December or something. And we were in a space probably. And I think it's just an idea of when, right? Like when would be the optimal moment? Like just now all of a sudden, or I think Pokemon people know more than I do, and you guys are a little bit closer maybe, but I think they have it. I don't think they have it, but I think it's exactly what Randy said. There's no reason why Pokemon can't do it themselves, but also have stuff on Vivi because of the connection with Kahn and the platform, and why not? It's just seamless. And then they can also do their own thing at some point too. I don't think it's exclusive. I personally think Vivi is going to get something with Pokemon. I don't know if it's the cards or just the 3D, even just the 3D, right?
Right.
I mean, and then the Pokemon might do the cards themselves, and then maybe there's it just seems inevitable to me.
I think it's
David,
I
you
don't
have
think
some
no needs to
license,
freak
so-
out, but it's just that, it seems inevitable. We got Kahn sitting right here.
Right.
Niantic might just have something to say, right? Because they got the whole Pokemon Go, and as long as you don't disturb their infrastructure too much, I think, like Randy said, the only place that there's an option for, I think, is Vivi. It's just they got to make sure that, I think that's what they care about. Make sure you don't piss off Niantic, and
just do something different,
Yeah, something different.
I think one thing that was kind of like a double-bladed sword or double-edged sword here that might scare but also entice Pokemon and Nintendo is that Vivi has so many different verticals. Like, they are doing other animes. They have Disney. They have all a bunch of these superheroes, and it would, Pokemon would have to. I mean, they'd be the biggest IP on there, but also, they wouldn't necessarily be their main priority 90% of the time. They would be their main priority maybe 10% of the time, which is still a lot. But then you have, okay, where else is Pokemon shoulder to shoulder with Disney? Like, there's usually why is Adidas always next to Nike in these shopping malls? It's because when one person goes to one, they share customers. I think that would also entice Pokemon and Nintendo.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And look at where they're positioned in, just like say Walmart or something. Look at where their cards are positioned, right? They're not it's the positioning. It's just like, I love what you said about Adidas and Nike. Even like McDonald's and Burger King. I mean, they're always together. It's because when people go for looking for that stuff, you want to go where everything else is. They don't necessarily compete as much as they, So yeah, I love that point, Randy.
Yeah.
That sounds like a perfect point to me.
Anyways, guys, I gotta head out, but thank you guys for having me on. Queen Vivi, Randy, thank you for hosting.
Thank you.
Henry, congratulations on winning the silent auction. MC, we're gonna see you around for sure. Great talk, and I love seeing all the collectibles you brought out during the talk there. It made it so much fun.
And congrats on the 1 year. Also, by the way,
all you guys coming on, it was awesome. We saw Lori in the chat there as well. So
I'm sorry, I was doing family stuff, but I wanted to jump in, but I couldn't. But
that's where I'm going now. I got to make that one. So
I did. And I'm so sorry, I can't see very well. I'm like, is that Robert, Joe? And my husband's like, that's Joe. So I apologize. I couldn't see that.
And Queen, you gotta talk to Kahn. We gotta get Superstar Joe that kid baby.
Get me that baby sleeper,
boom
please.
thing. Let's go.
Please. You're still
Oh my
awake.
God.
Prototype.
I don't know. I'm a little scared
Well-
though. Do you really want to send like a heat wave? I don't
Like
know. I
waves?
think that might need to be tested
I don't know,
before.
a couple more months, I'm gonna try anything. We'll see here.
Do you approve?
All right, guys.
We've been there,
Thank you.
buddy. We've been there.
Bye. Bye,
Peace.
Superstar Money. Thank you.
Man,
Oh,
You guys,
No.
I'm gonna head out, but
Yeah.
it was really nice to meet all of you. And I've been watching you guys' YouTube shows, so and I'll comment every now and then. So, but it is great to finally talk to you guys outside of a recorded video, or another live that I'm like, oh hey, how's it going? And then I gotta go.
Yeah, that was great.
yeah.
But, yeah,
Thank you, Henry. And really,
Yeah.
I mean, thank you for the trust too, because you know, Henry went out and bid this money, and then yesterday, put in $1,500, and I know you saw like me and Al and all that, but that takes a lot of trust too to put that money in and be confident with it. So thank you for that trust, and I'm gonna hold that card. I'm gonna make sure it's shipped, make sure there's insurance on it, in case anything happens. So I will definitely care for your possession and make sure that it's handled the best way
appreciate
to
it.
be handled.
Yeah, and we'll get you. We'll set up a time for that phone call with Al as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I
we'll
definitely
talk-
have a couple questions for him.
We'll have
So,
to ask you what happens after that. You might
Yeah.
your secrets though.
yeah,
Yeah.
feel free to put me on stream.
Yep. So Henry, I'll call you tomorrow if that's okay, or
Okay.
you text me
Sounds
when you can talk.
Okay,
But,
sounds good. Bye,
thank you
everyone.
so
See you
much.
later. Okay.
Bye,
Henry.
everyone.
Take care.
So that was a incredible stream. What are your guys' thoughts on everything?
Oh man. For me, you guys, like, because you guys have been talking to him, right? And
Yeah.
interviewing
Yeah, a couple months
them and
now.
stuff. I've always just been watching, and like, it's just so cool to get a chance to just sit in the same digital room with him. And I felt like the funny thing is we're hanging out together, right? Like he's not right here, and just hearing him and just being able to kind of talk to him. And it's just so casual. I wasn't like, it's just so interesting, right? It's like you meet some of these people and you think, you got to be like but he's just talking and talking. I love what you said, Randy. I think it's just, you can tell he just loves talking about this kind of stuff. And I could sit there and just listen to these stories all day. I want to hear more about this kind of stuff.
Right.
The most fascinating thing for me at DCon was going down there and then talking to Vivi staff, not about like inside secrets and stuff or anything like that, but just how the processes work. I really find it fascinating. So listening to how his businesses work and how his mind works and how his thinking works and what he's thinking on next, and he's got a team and how they're like this problem, that stuff is fascinating to me. Like this, how people like that think, because you can take a lot from that and you can then learn yourself and then just kind of grow as a person and how you're doing your processes, right? By listening to people who just just how they operate, right? And you can tell it's really genuine. That's why I asked him like what keeps him going, because you can tell it's like a passion thing, and you can tell he's still got that. He's got that like really fiery brain. He wants to solve problems and come up with ideas. And I can relate to that. Like my profession's graphic design outside of here. So I don't do as much branding as I used to like 10, 15 years ago, but that was always like a really exciting, right? Coming up with like all these concepts and ideas. If you're living it, why would you ever retire? There's no reason to retire.
Yeah, it's fun, and
Especially
you
if
can
you're
tell
doing
that
it, so.
his mind is like never shut off. All the neurons firing. He's like, even when he said, "I don't even know what we want to do yet. I don't even know what we want." Like he knows he has the idea and he wants something, and he's not sure where it'll go. And I think that's why he has so much success. Usually, a lot of times when companies wait to make decisions, even if they wait and make the correct ones, they don't do as well as a company that'll make a decision, even if it's the wrong one first, and then they can pivot really quickly. They sense it's wrong, they pivot, they go to what's right. Those are the companies and those are the people that usually are really, really successful. They just Greg Louganis it and they jump in. Mm-hmm. Cool to see how his mind works.
Yeah, I keep learning from Al. I mean, even tonight, Nancy, I don't want to say blackmailed Nancy Reagan, but he's like, yeah, what I told her was I could give you some Cabbage Patch dolls, but You know, it was like, but I need to meet your husband. I mean, how ballsy is that to tell the first lady, you know, yeah, I'll give that to you, but I want to meet your husband. And she said, yeah, like, you know, just, you know, that just goes to show that, you know, you got to go for it. And the thing about Marvel, and, you know, then he mentioned about the superstar, like, there's so many things, even though, you know, I've heard stories and got to interview him, that what the heck, you know, he has so many things to unpack. And like I said, I think he wants to be part of this universe. Like, you know, when I approached him, you know, he had never come into the community necessarily, other than with Reese and David and Dan. And, you know, I think now that he's in and he's been with Randy, he's come on with me, he's come on with, you know, I think he likes it, and he knows that we'll help him. And you know, we want to hear from him. You know, so I think we can have fun. So I think we're going to start assembling the army here shortly. I know he's asked myself and Randy to figure it out, you know, some of these things. So,
like, you know, he's so like, okay, so you just by listening to what he said today, I mean, go back, we can listen to all the other great interviews you guys have done, but it's just like, so he has got an idea, or he sees something. Even him mentioning, like, there's all sorts of things you go back, right? Even him mentioning those early pulp, like pulp magazines and books, and how no ideas necessarily are completely brand new, right? Like there's little things in the way that he thinks that I'm like listening. Like I'm just sitting there listening. And, you know, like you can see even when he talks about that, and he's, you know, we're referencing superheroes, but I think that mentality goes further than just the comic books, right? These ideas that come and go, and then the timing of it all. And then he brings that into these ideas he has now. And then he's talking about Vivi and how the timing of Vivi and how this is like, you know, this project is, you know, expandable and changeable. And like, so if he's seeing all the stuff that he's done, and he's, you know, some have failed, some haven't. And he said that about Vivi. We don't know, right? We'll see what happens. But he looks at it. You know, he gets the idea from, you know, him and David and a few years ago and all that stuff, the history of it. And he's like, yeah, that looks right to him. And so if this kind of thing looks right to him, and of course they have to execute, but like, that's a really great sign for me, because he knows what can work, and, you know, not everything works, but those are things to watch for. So if you're like in the project here, it's a no-brainer, right? I mean, these are, and I love what he said about, he didn't have to say, we never asked him. He said Vivi is changeable. It's not set. Remember when he said that? It's not locked into some one technology that like, that's it. And then in 2 years from now, somebody does something a bit better, and then it's dead, or whatever, right? It's like, and I love that. So, you know, those are just things I'm absorbing now that are just coming back out, right?
Yeah, and I don't think he was just talking about one thing. It's like the entire company. If you take a look at OUP, it's designed to that where you can amend it, and you can, if one thing, you know, next, or I guess this year when the new Congress was sworn in, if one thing would label it as a security, they could amend something and change the one thing and it'd be fine. So I think he's talking about not just MCP and the founders and what they're doing in the day-to-day operations, but OUP as well. And it's just, it's a beautifully...
You mean like regulatory as well, Randy? Being adaptable?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, even like, look what happened with Wire. I mean, we know that they're, you know, what happened with them and our MTL provider, but, you know, we've been pretty much assured they're already in transit to, you know, another company, and it's okay. It's not a big deal. Everybody calm down. You know, maybe you're going to have to wait, you know, a little bit, but they're already moving it. So, Randy, I thought it was good. And I was really excited. Like I said, you know, I'm sorry everybody else couldn't attend, but that's okay, because I thought it was good. So
Al's good on his own, it looks like.
We didn't even need to show up.
To him. Just give him the microphone.
Just give him the screen.
Oh, dude, if we just had like
sorry, Randy.
Oh no, I was saying, if we had like, I forget what that thing was on the Jetsons years back, where like the teen girl had like a floating diary that she would talk to. I feel like we just need that, like for Al, and he could just talk all day, and there would always be 100 people there.
Always just someone coming in and listening.
Yeah, like a nonstop live stream, right? Like, you know.
It's funny you mentioned that because most of the Jetson stuff has come true. You know, like that when a lot of it has come true, but I'm still waiting for where you can go in and put what you want to eat and it pops out. You know, that's
Star Trek, right? Star Trek.
I think
the Next Generation had the iPads. The original series had the flip phones. I mean, like, you know.
Yeah, all that. Yeah.
Don't get me started.
Yeah, the Jetsons had this. You used to be able to. I remember. You know, they would go on and call on a television, basically.
Yeah, right.
And I was younger, and I'm like, oh my God, that's or Richie Rich had a cell phone. I don't know if you guys remember that. And I'm like, you know, so you know, all these things are you know coming full circle. So he's seen it all, right? I mean, he has seen it all. He remembers Rolodexes and you know the chords, and he's just got to see all this on
that's what I like because
all of it unfold.
That's what I like because through all of, you know, we're slowly painting the picture and filling in some of the gaps. The more times you guys talk to him, the more time we listen, we get more little tidbits filled in like this, you know, of the stuff that he's done. And, but the consistent thing seems that he sees something that like there isn't something for yet. And then it's like his mind is like, well, this could fill that. And I mean, he said problems, right? Like fixing problems, but it's not always that. It's like this is something missing, or he sees an opportunity. Oh, this is something that, you know, and it's like that's a really amazing skill to have. Like for a lot of people don't see any of that stuff, right? Most people just react to that and just go along with what comes out. But to be able to actually have the foresight to do that, that's why he's successful like that. The skill to be able to see something and go, okay, and then recognize that there is a missing part, and then this might fit in there. And so any kind of companies that he seems to be connected with look like they've been in that kind of role in a way. Like even the Cabbage Patch dolls, you know, there's like a missing thing there that people needed some sort of connection with. I mean, the whole way they set it up, I mean, it totally exploded. I mean, like, you know, I mean, it's very interesting to me. I love just hearing the mind, you know?
Right. Well, me and your wife probably were, you know, around the same, you know, era. And that Cabbage Patch, I had a ton of dolls. There were a ton of dolls that, you know, did nothing, dolls that went to the bathroom. But the thing that I think, yeah, you had the pee doll. Those. You had Miss Beasley. She was old though. You pulled her string and she cried. Like there were all kinds of dolls, but Cabbage Patch was so different. And this was my opinion. Maybe you can ask your wife what happened. But because it was like legit and you got like an adoption certificate and a birth certificate, and it was it was just that little extra piece that made it so different from all those other baby dolls. Like I had a birth certificate and so does my doll. Like I don't know how that silly piece of paper legitimized the Cabbage Patch dolls and made it just totally different.
It's the adoption. It's the caring of. I mean the
paperwork.
All those human emotions that you know young people are learning about.
I think Al also
parents
knows
too are right in there with that.
Yeah.
But like he also said he had something to do with the pet rock, right?
He said his company owns it.
Yeah, and that's like I remember that. I remember my parents wouldn't let me get one because it was $5, and I was like, "But I have the money." Like, no, that's stupid. You're stupid. Don't get one. And I was like, "But it's my money." But like, he just knows what kids want. He just knows. I don't know why, but like I wanted it, and so did millions of other kids. Clearly,
but I didn't know he still owned it. Like you just said, MC. There's another thing. I mean, Randy, did you know that his company owned Pet Rock? Like
I had no idea. Like that would be something because there was, I think, 100 NFT rocks that sell for like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yes. I don't know what they're called, but like if he would have just tokenized that, everyone would have remembered. Oh yeah, and he would have got there first.
He would have got there first. They were Lori, $1 million, right? There was $1 million NFT rock sold, I believe.
Yeah, Lori, we've had. So I don't know how serious Al was, and I'm gonna ask you. You can tell me no if you want. Would you be open to the idea of keeping that email queenscourtcharity@gmail.com and then having people send either their resumes or what they're willing to do, their skill sets to that, So this way we have a list of people in case there's something that Al wants to do. Oh, hey, this person is good at this and this person's good at that. And we could have people to call on.
Yeah. I think, Randy, we need to have a talk, and, do something like that. Like MC, I could see you, graphic design and comics or, whatever. And that's a great idea. And then we kind of know Randy. Yeah.
And like, we'll figure it all out later, but just get the info.
This isn't the first time. I mean, I just kind of want to let you guys know, based on the conversations I've been having with him, and, he's serious. Like he wants the community. He wants to do things. He wants, and you guys also heard him say, I'm not interested in the $1 million donation or the $1 million investment. He wants, like our kind of, us. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure this is what it is, though. We're still trying to figure out.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. And I think, and I'm just guessing, but, previously, how these kind of businesses, from what I'm gathering and just my experience too, right? That was the way to go. You get your investors and blah, blah, blah. But now the way the world is going and the way that he's connecting with us and others and how we're connecting with others. And you could tell he was talking about that. He's seeing like this isn't like he's just saw it today. Like he's obviously processing, like this is a different way of doing it, of launching stuff. And, and this is the world now. Right. And I'm learning that too. Right. I know we all are, but I watch my teenage kids and how they interact and how they connect and how they find new info and get involved with new stuff. Like it's different than the way I grew up, and it's different the way businesses should run. I mean, so I love that you can see, right? That's what I'm saying. Like I just listening to him. And I think sometimes you just listening is the best thing. You can see how his mind's working. He's seeing, he's adapting.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting to see, because he's, okay, this is a community here that is passionate. And why would you want to not be with people who are passionate, who believe in the kind of stuff we're doing, when because their intentions usually are pretty right, most of them.
Right. I apologize. One of my cats, I had a bunch of collectible boxes saved up, and one of my cats just tipped it over, and there's like 50 Pokemon, like all kinds of collectible boxes that just went rolling down my stairs.
Oh my God. I saw a little corner of them, some pop boxes.
McFarlane, there's Pops, there's McFarlane toys. It just rolled down the steps.
Oh no.
But yeah, so yeah, Randy, like I said, I think we could talk. My collectibles, you were just like, not show it off, but you're like, and look at this, and look at this, and here's my, and I'm like,
I couldn't believe it. He talked Crayola, and like, I'm not kidding, guys. Yeah, right? I have no plan. This is just on my shelf. Like, it's just a fluke. He's like, oh yeah, we're with Crayola. I'm like, I don't know why I have my crayons here. They're just there. Like I just love. I love the vintage box. I'm like, with my graphic design back. Like I love old packaging, and I love toy packaging, and so I just like looking at it. It's just they're unused for like literally 30 years, and I always had them. I had them in like my box. Like I had my your old box you take to class. With your pencil box, you draw all over it. I went through 100 of them because I used to turn them into wrestling rings for my little muscle figures. Those little muscles. Remember the muscle dudes? Anyway, so I always kept this, and I just have it over there because it's fun to look at, mixed with toys. And you mentioned, I don't know.
Well, you were impressive with your dolls and your crayons and your Legos. Every time Al said something, you're like, I've got that. So it's like, see, Randy, bring MC on, and he shows us.
David may be more impressive. You can imagine the Crayola box that he has. He probably has the first one ever made.
He has warehouses, so but yeah, like I said, Randy, I'm gonna have to go too. I have to use the restroom. Thank you. I mean, I can't thank you enough. And my collectibles, I didn't even know you were bringing in a comic and a shirt. I just thought we were gonna do a drop.
Oh sure, yeah, no.
But thank you so much.
Cool. It's cool for somebody. So just let me know who wins. You'll let me know, and then
For sure.
I'll just ship that off to them. It's easy. I do it all the time on my channel anyway. Not the shirt. The shirt is different, but I think someone will really like that. And if people are donating, I mean, like they deserve something cool. It's just going to sit in my closet. Like I'm unless I go to another decon, I'll wear it there. But I got like 8 shirts from that event. So I think this one will be fun for someone.
Absolutely. And just, the level of the content creators, just all just sharing and interacting and jumping on each other's stream. And Randy, I know you're a big proponent of that. You were a guest on a lot of people's first, and you really, you go anywhere. I don't mean that in a bad way, but you always
spread that around.
You just spread the love all over the place. You were my first guest on Queen's Court, but it's just, this community is pretty damn amazing that. That I was Sean and Comics and Crypto and you guys and Superstar Money and Johnny, just like, everyone's just like, hell yeah, let's do this and let's give. So, I thank you. I don't think, the cooperation is great. And I think we're going to get the same thing when we form our army, our OWL army. I don't know what we're going to call it, but
somebody in chat said, what did they say? Almy? The
Almy. So it's Al Army. Yeah. So it's Almy.
Almy. Okay. Yeah. I love that. I love that.
I'm 5-star generaling myself right now.
There you go. All right, guys. I'll see you guys later too. Wendy, are you gonna stay live?
Yeah.
They just dropped the article on the merging Omi account, so I'm just gonna go over that right now, and then, or maybe I should just make a video about it, because like nobody's gonna watch 2.5 hours in, and this is how you do it,
Yeah.
Or I guess. I
mean, so I might just make a video, but also there's a bunch of people here, and I could just tell people where to go 2.5 hours in, and then I'll do that.
Can you clip it? Like, can you do it now and then?
It'll only let me clip like 60 seconds at a time for some reason. So when I'm doing my shorts, like I'll go to old interviews and I'll have to clip it so that it's hopefully what somebody says is said within a minute. And
Okay. All right. Well,
but that's it. Yeah, but if you guys get bounced, I'll hang here with Dashi, and then I'll catch you guys later.
And thanks everybody. I appreciate it.
Meow meow
meow meow. Meow.
Aw. Okay, well, all right. Let me kick her off there. Remove some stream. Okay, there we go. That we don't want her to accidentally. Okay. Anyway. We got some stuff to talk about while we on here. So they are about to merge accounts. I won't make a video of it. I'll just say it right here. Number of users waiting to consolidate their Vivi accounts and merge their digital collectibles assets under one username. Merging accounts is a web app only feature. Using features merges a non-KYC account with an account that has completed KYC process. Feature will permanently transfer all the collectibles, comics, showrooms, and gems from the non-KYC account to your prime. Oh, so good. The showrooms go there as well. That's awesome. It will not transfer your OMI tokens or your MCP points. So if you have OMI in one wallet, you're gonna have to move it to another. That's relatively easy. All you have to do is go to where it says send and receive, and it says send and receive right there. And then once you're out of there, you go to the copy address in the other, and you send it. So you go to the account that you want to merge to. You copy that address, you paste it somewhere in your email. It doesn't really matter, because that's just how you send it. That's how you receive OMI. You take the OMI in your old account, you click send, you paste that address in there, and then you're good to go. Once you close out of your account, you're not going to be able to get back in. If you leave collectibles there, if you leave whatever there, like it's so. Anyway, moving on. That's how you send the OMI. You log into your account you wish to send OMI from. This is the account you plan to merge. You will no longer have access to once the merge is complete. All right, that's it for the OMI. All right, withdraw your OMI to MetaMask. If you want to do that, you must register to Layer 2. Any OMI tokens that are currently stored in the Vivi wallet are Layer 2 OMI tokens. That means you cannot withdraw them directly to MetaMask unless you have already registered your MetaMask address to Immutable X Layer 2. Instructions on how to do that can be found below. Oh, if I guess you could do that with if you've already done it with Feesh Arena, then you should be fine. But definitely just do small test amounts just to make sure. That they can also be returned to your Vivi app at a later date to use when the OMI utility program begins to roll out. Is that going to be delayed by a little bit because of what happened with Wire? Maybe, we'll see. If you wish to withdraw your OMI from the Vivi app and then send them to an exchange or layer 1 application, you have to bridge withdraw them from layer 2 to layer 1. That is an absolute pain in the butt. There's going to need to be classes, like actual 45-minute videos on how to do that, going from layer 1 to layer 2, to go into your OMI spot wallet, then we're going from layer 2 to layer 1, back to an exchange. It's going to be wild. If you wish to withdraw your OMI from the Vivi app, then send them to an exchange or layer 1 application. Like I said, you need to bridge it after you have withdrawn them from the Vivi app. Learn how to register your MetaMask to layer 2 immutable X, then withdraw your OMI tokens from the Vivi app wallet. Blah, 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 and that's pretty much it. It gives you all the articles down there. Just go to the Vivi Twitter, and I'll be able to go and show you. Throw me and Bam Bam on. I've been going for about 2.5 hours now. I'm probably going to bounce and take a snooze. I have a busy day tomorrow. I've had these past 2 days have been the busiest, and for those of you that did not listen to my live last night, I'll tell you guys right now. I looked into Wire yesterday, and I went, I think for the first time, like almost ever, I went live at midnight because this was insane. Wire is pretty much ran by Circle. Circle was invested into with Coinbase, Kraken, and Silvergate. And Silvergate has this, what do you call it? Silvergate has this like $2 billion. They're about to get margin called. They need $2 billion. They do not have enough crypto to cover the $2 billion. They do not have enough Bitcoin. They'll try to sell, but basically if they get margin called and they don't have it and they go down, there's not going to be any other. And again, if Circle goes down, there's not going to be any American company to on and off ramp crypto to any platform, because Circle has everything and everyone's invested, including Silvergate, into Circle. Again, if Silvergate goes down and Circle goes down, now again that has next to nothing to do with Vivi, because Vivi will have a fiat crypto on and off board ramp. I mean, they already have it. You can onboard it. They'll have a fiat offboarding. They'll announce it in like the next week and a half, 2 weeks. And then the testing will take, a little while. That'll take a couple months, whatever. But yeah, that's going to be insane. The crypto, again, that's for an American company. You have other companies out in the world, like Binance in Europe, and like Alibaba over in Asia with Alipay. But as far as US companies, there's going to be a big hole. And you could have, PayPal's Venmo. You could have Cash Apps, or you could have Square's Cash App. You could have Stripe. You could have a bunch of different companies that could come in and try to fill that hole. There will be a power vacuum. There will be money to be made. But for a couple of months, if they go down, and again, Gemini is also, they have to pay back, I think, $1 billion, and they need some guy that I guess they loaned $900 million to. Like, hey, can you pay this back by January 8th? This is the date we have to pay back by. If you have anything on Gemini, take it off. I was going over this again last night at midnight, and I said, hey guys, Silvergate, and what happened this morning? There was a giant run on the Silvergate bank. I'm gonna say my video caused that because it got like a couple hundred views. But yeah, that was pretty wild. What would happen with Gemini? Again, I would not have anything on exchanges. I would not have anything. I would have everything on either a trust wallet or several trust wallets, or a ledger or several ledgers. If you're paranoid like me, again, just what I would do. What's up, BB Darklink? How's it going? Account merge is too many. I mean, if you had a bunch of kids, and I also, hey Randy, thanks for everything. New for the community. What is your favorite set? And also, what would be best set? What would be best set strictly for investing purposes? Thanks. Oh wow. Well, cheers. Appreciate the compliment. Favorite set? I have two. Well, not really, because you did ask the best bet strictly for investing. So I'll do my favorite set, what I just like. I mean, Loki's obviously have to be up there. Loki's are really cool. I like the Adventure Time set, because the Adventure Time set, again, that was outside of Rugrats, that kind of referenced it in a weird way. that was the first cartoon I think to ever really focus on like dementia and to ever focus on that type of thing. Again, Rugrats did kind of an episode on it without really saying it, but Adventure Time kind of threw it in your face. I would say that was really Adventure Time's a really good set. That one of my favorite, and again, the set that I'm about to say is clearly I'm not gonna is like as far from investing standpoint as you can get, but I like the Kripken set because I love the supernatural. I have an anti-demon possession tattoo. I forget which side it's on. It's on my back, and I have that because I love the show Supernatural. I love all things spoopy. I love ghosts. I love demons. I love Wendigos, and yes, New Jersey Devil and the Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot and Mothman. Like these are really cool characters and they're really cool like things, and I could own them, and it's awesome. Most people do not like that stuff. Every now and then you'll find another weirdo at a party like, oh, you like Mothman? I like Mothman. We'll be best friends. Me, it's just that's what I like. But most people are not like that. Most people are just like, and again, they're not like the giant, creepy statues. They're like the cute little chibi ones. So even people that do like that, they might not be too happy with what you get because they're not the giant creatures. They're these cute little ones, and it's like, But again, it doesn't matter. I really like them, so I got the set. If we're going as far as strictly investing, listen, that first set, and I get it, the Becky Cloonan and the Joey M. Batman that are not really coveted right now, they will be at some point. Not because, again, how many people knew who Eddie Rizzo was before Vivi? Probably very few people. Even like the Todd, I mean, a lot of people know Todd, but again, I guarantee you, most people didn't know who Todd McFarlane was before Vivi, and now he's like so famous and so important. It's just that first set. That first set is so special. It's so God. So investing wise, that one is probably one of the best because every collector is going to want that. You will again, I've seen this in Pokemon before. You will see people come in that collect World War II memorabilia, that collect coins, that collect baseball cards, things that just have really nothing to do with VV right now. And they'll come in, they'll say, like, okay, give me the grails and give me the first set, and they'll buy it, and you'll never see them again. They will come in, wreak havoc like Big Show did on one of his comebacks from on SmackDown. Oh, like there's just like it wasn't a ladder, table, and chairs. It was a lumberjack match where you have like two guys wrestling on the inside and you got like 20 guys on the outside, and then all of a sudden you hear, well, it's the Big Show, and then Big Show's coming and just choke slamming people and bodies out. He just wreaks havoc and then he leaves. That's what these whales do. I've seen it before. And they'll go after the Secret Rare Spider-Mans, they'll go after the partner statue, they'll go after the first set, many of the other grails, and then they'll bounce. Partner statue is another set by itself, so that's really good. The Vaders as well, that's really interesting, and that might not be the only Vader we get. We might get some other forms of Vader. You can make the argument that actually his first appearance on the blockchain is actually in the comic, which came out first. But yeah, that one's really, really cool. And he's like one of the biggest villains of all time. So people really like that. And again, there's certain sets like, okay, what would be really cool is because execute order 66, like execute order 66. And it'd be really cool to get one of those mints, whether it be the common, the ultra rare, whatever, but you just can't get it. Clever Jerk paid, I don't know how much money to get the common, the uncommon, and the ultra rare 66. That set is probably worth $25,000. Even if you offer that to him, I do not believe that Clever Jerk would sell for that because, like, what, he had it for, 6 months and then it's like, is he going to sell it now? No. So be advised that some of the sets that people want, they're just not available. Like they've already been gotten because things, it's not like Pokemon where it's like, oh, maybe this will be worth a lot in 20 years, or you collect it because you like it. And it took 15 years for it to become really collectible. these are collectible right away, because with Pokemon, you for a long time, for probably a good 13 years, well, like people didn't submit Pokemon cards to PSA. They didn't submit them to get graded, and then suddenly they did, and suddenly you see like, okay, well, this is how many are graded, and this is how many, are PSA 10 and PSA 9. Like, now you know right off the bat how many are minted. You know they're not minting anymore. It's not like Pokemon where it's like, okay, we're not only going to get rid of the first edition stamp and not make collecting even harder, but we're also going to buy our own printers and make them go for this insane supply. So, Pokemon's really done collectors a little dirty over the years. They got rid of the first one. They got Shadowless lasted one set. Yeah, the first edition, yeah, Shadowless, and then they had the Unlimited, which is what Henry had just opened up. They got rid of Shadowless after that first set. And then it was first edition, and then it was just Unlimited. And then, after Neo Destiny, they got rid of it. So I would say, because of all the data we have now and all the other people that are just, technology just catches up so quick, you could have something that goes super, super high, super, super quickly. And again, this is just in a bear market, and we still have, a bunch of these that are really collectible. So those four, I'm thinking right now: the Vaders, Partner Statue, the first set. What was the other ones that I was saying? I mean, that Spider-Man set's cool, but that Secret Rare Spidey is really, really hard to get. But again, it's cheap now considering where it was. It was 100K at one point. It was now like 6K, 8K. Yeah. So anyway, where was I? So Brian, I hope that was a good enough response for you. Bill Gar says, noticed Cryptid Common was up like 40%. Really? Cryptkins? Let's take a look. See. Go to the Vivi app. Oh wow, there's a lot of messages here. Ooh, there's a lot of messages. Okay, let's take a look at there. Go to my full sets. Oh, Superman's a good one too. Superman's a really good collectible to get. All right, Bigfoot Common. Let's see where you're at. 8 Bell Hairs. Okay, Chupacabra Common. That's 850. Not really a ton of movement. Yeah, but still, people do. I like them. I gotta say. So thanks for all you do, Randy. Oh, thanks, Sam Bam. Oh, I miss you, Sam and Dean. Love it. Oh, Sam and Dean, my bays, my boys. Big Fan Bam says stamps are the #1 thing collected in the world, and we do have a bunch of stamps though. We do be having stamps. Double cough. Hopefully, movie clips would be great. I would really want that as well. I don't have a ton of the stamps. I think I have like 2 or 3 stamp sets. They're in different places, which I don't like. I don't like that they're all in different places. I want them to be, one in one line. So I got the lunar stamps. I'm really big into the Chinese zodiac. That's it's a horse. So I got the lunar year panel art and the lunar year stamps. Those are really cool. And then I got the Take Me Out to the Ball Game. The Take Me Out to the Ball Game is literally, what is it? Excuse me. It's $15.75. It is $16, and you get a full set. So it's like, okay, I'll pay $15 for one set. The Lunar New Year stamps, these are a little. Again, I'm gonna say that these are most likely something that's not really going to moon as hard as, like a Superman or, the first appearance Joker or Harley Quinn. It's just, because again, I feel like the crowd that's in here right now, yeah, there's a lot of stamps, and this one is just not one that I think is really popular. That being said, the cheapest on the floor is 288, so it is still fairly expensive. Again, I enjoy it because there's only 888 of them, and again, I like it because I like the Chinese zodiac. Moving on. Viral Grumpy Shorts says, "Hi Randy, what's up? Still into E2? Oh my guy! In the last month, I think I've done 30 videos of that included Earth 2. Yeah, It's Earth 2 is like the golden child of the metaverse right now. I was really salty that I forget who, Bill Bollinger was the guy that had written the article. I don't know if I still have it on here. Oh no, I do. It's from beamstart.com. There's a top metaverse tokens to buy for a great start to 2023. And they list what do they list? They list mana, and they list sand, and they list something else. And I was like, what about Omi? What about Essence from Earth 2? They hecked up. I think Clerks 3 was available in NFT form. Was it really? Interesting. Earth 2 is what's up. Nessie was Nessie 1050, get that bread. Yeah, we love the Earth 2. Like I said, I had a crazy couple of days. Big buys, guys. I will. This bear market is about to get insane. I may or may not do some type of work here and there, just to go and get some more money for some more Omi and some more other stuff. So I'll keep you all posted on that. And some other news. I guess this will be my video or not for today. Mom's account, Silvergate. Okay, there's Silvergate. Oh, so a judge rules that Celsius users gave up legal rights to their Bitcoin by using the platform, and all of the $4.2 billion worth of crypto deposits are now property of Celsius. This is why I do not like exchanges. I would never keep my stuff on exchanges. I don't care how much APY I was getting. It would not, yeah. Also, Comics and Crypto podcast says, which one would you choose right now on Vivi Official? They were talking about a rare first appearance Miles Morales statue or a common AF-15 comic. And 69%, everyone comment nice down below the 69, had said that they would go for the comic. So huzzah for that. I think both are really good. I voted for the comic as well, but I voted for that because I have one and I don't have a rare Miles statue. I think both are really good. Oh, Miles, that Miles set also, that's a really, really good one to invest in. Not financial advice, but that one, it's super scarce. Miles Morales is the Peter Parker of this generation of people that are 25 and younger, 30 and younger, whatever. Yeah. In other news, we had someone says, what would be the sweet spot for the RoboCop drop? And they had a bunch of different things. They had 1987, 1,987 of them for $20 each. 1987 for $25 each. 1987, they didn't put any money. 1,500 editions at $50 each. 2,000. Basically, the winner was 1,000 editions at $80 each. That's what people wanted. They wanted fewer editions. They don't care if they had to pay more money for it. I also voted for that because that particular option gave Vivi the most money. I would like that. So if this is something that I've been looking into, this is an absolute degen play. This is absolutely something that I saw last year. It's a game called Toshimon. You know how Epico Regal's kind of the same as Clash Royale, Clash of Clans, whatever it is, but it's Epico Regal. The same thing, but it's different. Toshimon, as you can guess, is pretty similar to Pokemon, and there's a lot of new things that are added. There's a lot of things that's kept over, but they have a coin called Toshi. Again, absolute degen play that I've been looking into. They had an announcement today, which I thought was really interesting, saying Toshimon just got listed on Magic Square alongside some top projects. As we get closer to releasing the huge game updates we want to grow our community and get people excited to battle, help us out by visiting our page, the Magic Store. I retweeted it today. Thought that was really interesting. And then we had Michael Adler from Vivi say CES 2023, where the future meets the present, exploration, #Vivi, @Vivi Official. And then we had, I don't know if I could say that yet. Yeah, I won't say that yet. This one I thought was cute. Vaporeon just been announced as the official mascot of Japan's Water Day on August 1st. That's just adorable. Vaporeon. Officially, Bed Bath & Beyond is filing for bankruptcy. Thought that was interesting. Now everyone's parents will have nowhere to go and they want to buy weird, useless items. Sorry, that was mean. Kevin Smith did release a movie as a one-on-one NFT that included distribution rights. Was called Kilroy Was Here. He released a lot of other NFTs, so no doubt Clerk stuff, but I don't believe the film. Gotcha. Yeah, Kevin Smith is big on NFTs. That's true. He was on Dan Chabel's podcast 5 questions with Dan Chabel. That was good. Guys, my voice is destroyed. I have so much to do tomorrow. I will be on a Spaces tomorrow, hopefully midday, because I have something to do late afternoon with God, what's her name? Nope, that is not. Or that's a he. That's a he. A girl named Laura Rod, known as @Miami Ape. She's an advisor and on the board Ape Yacht Club Council. She has about 44,000 followers on Twitter. She is very interested in Vivi, so I will be going on a space with her tomorrow. Hopefully, it's at an appropriate time where I'm able to do it. So I got to go to bed, wake up and gym really hard in the morning. Then I got a bunch of stuff to do in the late afternoon. Might not be a heavy content day tomorrow, so we'll keep you posted. Regards says, Randy, when things kicking off with Earth 2, let's get together for giveaways on Omi Island. Of course. We'll get, things have been crazy for Earth 2 in general. So we'll actually, excuse me, I'm going to take a picture of that, and I'm going to put out a video either late tonight, early tomorrow. It's going to cover most of the things that I just went over the last 10, 20 minutes. So if you were here for the last 10 or 20 minutes, don't bother watching. That's pretty much it. I love you all. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone say bye-bye. Bye-bye. I love you guys. Bye. Thank you for the super chats.